You're listening to BL in the Air. My name is Chy,
And I'm Alex.
and today we're going to be talking about, at least for me, one of my favorite shows that came out this year. I think Alex as well, maybe?
Yeah, I mean, I'll say it's getting lowered a little bit by some other ones that have come out, but
I
it's
see.
great. I don't
Well,
dislike it.
well, it's called Gelboys, and I think it's so fabulous, so I'm very excited to talk about it. But before we get into that, Alex, what's in the air with you?
Babe.
Hey, babe.
I finally started watching. I mean, we're only 2 episodes in, so there's not much to watch yet, but
Yeah. I'm
um
episode 1 out of 2 so far. I'm not caught up yet.
yeah, so I won't say much.
Mhm.
I'll say episode 2 I had a what the fuck Alan moment.
Interesting. I feel like Alan usually is kind of chill.
Yeah.
So.
I think that might be the problem.
Okay. Hey, I'm down for Alan getting like a bigger role this season. So,
Yeah. I think he will. He's been in a lot. He's had a
yeah.
lot going. He's which I think is because there is a lot of racing in the season so far.
Yeah, he is
Um,
the racing guy.
yeah. Um, but I think our fears are unwarranted at this point. It is very much Omegaverse. The writer did not
Cool.
get what she wanted.
Yes, I love that. I love
Me.
people who will fight for our Omegaverse rights.
Not that I even asked for Omegaverse. I don't. It's not my need.
I know. But
But
I'm like, okay, if you start a story on Megaverse, you have to continue it, you know?
yeah.
So,
So. But yeah, I'm excited. It's been good so far. I was so worried. I was like, I have no idea how this is gonna go. Like I know that acting's not gonna be the issue, right? So I just I'm happy.
okay. Yeah, I don't really know like where the plot is gonna go.
No idea.
Yeah, so I'm just kind of like here for the ride.
Yeah, I
I'm in
mean,
the passenger seat of Babe's car and I'm just here for the ride.
oh, so you're Charlie.
I'm well, I don't actually my glasses right now are giving Charlie, so maybe I am Charlie.
I don't what kind of glasses does he normally wear?
He
I
has like
just
those
kind
like rim circle
oh, okay.
glasses
I was making
for
sure I
my
don't have them because I have the
yeah.
rectangle ones.
Yeah, mine are like rimmed. They're not exactly circle, but
Mm-hmm.
they're a rounded square. So
Yeah.
I'm kind of giving Charlie.
I just I want to say things and I can't, but
I know.
I'm dying. I can't wait for you to watch the second episode because a lot
Yeah.
happens.
Yes. I'm very excited to watch. I've just been so busy like
Yeah.
lately that I don't know. I just need like a day to catch up on stuff. I just like haven't had one yet. But
Yeah, I feel like Memorial Day is coming up, and that's gonna be my day.
mm, that's true. That's a good point.
So I don't have much time either because I have a business trip coming up for my day job. Um,
Hmm. This isn't your day job?
I wish.
I wish, yeah.
That would be the coolest thing ever if we could like make this our day job.
Yeah, wouldn't it?
But yeah, the day job is sending me up to Detroit, so
Cool.
so
Never
excited.
been
I'll be
there,
close to
but
you. Oh,
yeah, it's close to me. I've never been there though, but
I've
the
been a few
problem with
times.
really,
Yeah,
the problem with getting to Michigan is that we have Lake Michigan separating us. So
that
like
makes sense.
you have to drive like down through multiple states to get to them, or you like have to take a ferry, or I guess you could fly, but it's like it's so close. But I don't know if I've
It's
ever been to Michigan before because it's
yeah,
just like I'd have to drive like 8 hours to get there. So
yeah. That's kind of crazy that how close you are, but how inconvenient it is to get there.
yeah, it is. So
Because if you drove, you'd have to go what down to like Chicago, right?
yeah, I'd have to go through Illinois and
That's crazy.
I want to say maybe through Indiana too to get
Probably.
to Michigan, which we do have. I have been, I guess, to the UP,
Okay.
which is a part of Michigan technically,
Mhm.
but it is only touching Wisconsin. So, like,
Yeah.
I have traveled there by land because I physically can. But yeah,
That's funny. The US is
yeah,
weird.
I know, right?
So
Well, I hope you have a good time on your work
yeah.
trip to Detroit.
Yeah. I'm hoping that at least at night I'll have time to like unwind and watch some be
Yeah.
so we'll see.
Mm-hmm.
What's in there with you?
Well, like I said, I haven't really been watching anything. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but I've been reading a lot of fan fiction. So,
What kind
um,
of fan fiction?
okay, I mostly read for like The Untamed or
Oh, okay.
MDZS, whatever. Yeah. That's
Mm-hmm.
kind of what I've been into these days because there is so much of it and a lot of it is so good. Um, I saw a TikTok recently of a girl who was like I don't even remember what they were saying, but they said something like, "Oh, I write fan fiction, like this is my name." And like I looked at the comments, everyone was like, "Oh my God, like I love your stories, whatever." So I was like, "Okay, I'll like look them up." Their name is Cataclysmic Calamity. But
That's
I've
fun.
been reading yeah, I've been reading their stories and they're so good. So I've been kind of obsessed with that. Yeah, they write a lot for like MDZS and also like Heaven's Official Blessing, which I
Mm,
haven't read yet. So
yeah.
I kind of staying away from those for right now, but yeah, so that,
I
that's
love when a fandom has really good fan fiction.
I know it is. I mean, I'm like a lifelong like fan fiction reader, like so,
Mm-hmm.
you know, I'm even if it's for like a show or a couple or whatever that I don't really know about. If I hear like a lot of people like, or if my friends are like, "Oh, this is really good," like I'll still read it anyway, you know, because it's just like fan fiction is just
Yeah.
some of like the best like books you'll read. I feel, and they're just so accessible. So if anyone
Yeah.
has any fanfic recs, please let me know. I like will read it.
That's so funny. Yeah, I
Yeah.
got my start with Harry Potter fan fiction.
I feel like most people do. Yeah.
Yeah,
I think that's still
probably.
like the most popular fandom on AO3, but I think a lot of
Yeah.
that is like Marauders, which
Yeah, that makes sense.
yeah, it's like I feel like a whole separate thing where like I get it, but I also like don't know. I get it, but like I don't get it, you know?
Yeah, I was deep in it on fanfiction.net.
Oh,
Yeah, no,
yeah.
I'm old.
Throwback.
Right? Like I know before that was LiveJournal and I was on
Mhm.
LiveJournal but not for fan fiction around that time. I don't know how I missed the fan fiction around then.
Uh-huh.
Um but yeah, I fanfiction.net. I there's probably still stories I've written up on fanfiction.net if it still
Oh my
exists.
God.
I
Find
don't
it.
I had to like hack my account once to see if they were even like still up there and I don't know if I deleted them or not.
Oh my God. You should
So,
cross-post it. Maybe there are
no.
people who love your fix and they're like they miss
There
them.
for a while, like it would be like years after I like had written them, and I would still get like an email every once in a while, like somebody wrote a comment, and I'm like,
Oh.
why? How did you find it?
I
Some,
know. That's how I feel though, because I've been going back in my AO3 history and like rereading like old fics I completely forgot about. And I'm like, I've just like I like to leave a if I liked a story, I like to comment. And some of
Mhm.
them are like I'm the first comment since 2016.
Oh gosh,
So I'm
yeah,
like some author out there is probably like, what the fuck? Like I got this random email.
yeah. I haven't gotten one in a long time, which makes me either think fanfiction.net is like dead, or I deleted them, one of the two. Because it would every few
Yeah.
years I would just get like a random email of like, this is so good. I'm like, it's not done, and I haven't touched it in 15 years. What are you
Oh no.
doing? Um,
That's so funny. I've never really written a fanfic before. I wrote like a crack fic once. Like so it was very unserious.
hmm
But I always feel like I've never been a good writer. So I've never like attempted to write anything creative before. But now I'm kind of like what if, you
You
know?
should do it. Because honestly, it takes practice. It's not like
Yeah.
an inherent skill. It's one you have to work at, just like any other one.
Oh,
Um,
absolutely. Yeah,
so,
I don't know. I don't really my problem is like I don't even have any like plot
uh,
ideas. Like people who write things, do you guys just like how do you think of plots? Do they just like come to you or like I
yeah,
don't
they usually
know.
come to me. Um,
Yeah.
'Cause I'll say my dream job is to be like a full-time like published author.
Oh
Um,
yeah,
well,
yeah.
I don't have the commitment, apparently, is my big issue because it's
Mm,
not the plot. The plot I have.
yeah.
Like I have a whole trilogy like mapped out. I just gotta write it.
And stuff, but like that's like academic research papers and I loved writing it, but I'm like I wonder if it's transferable at all.
Are you okay?
I honestly no. I don't know. I always was like, yeah, I'd rather just write a paper, know I'll get an A on it instead of taking a test and being like, I don't know what questions are going to be on there, you know?
Yeah, I mean, it was a toss up for me. I guess it depended on the class. Because
Mhm.
like an English paper, I can write all day, but like my philosophy paper was terrible. I would have
That
much
sounds
rather done a bunch of short answers.
that sounds difficult. Yeah, I have not taken philosophy.
Yeah, that paper was so bad from our entire class that he gave us an extension to fix it because we would have
Oh
all failed
no.
it.
Well, hey, at least you weren't alone.
Yeah, thank God, because that
Yeah.
was my first all-nighter in college was that paper.
Oh
Um,
boy. Oh no, that's even worse.
yeah, I mean that's probably why it sucked because I wrote it the night before, but
Yeah, that's fair.
I didn't realize what I was getting into.
Yeah.
But fiction I find easier to write, especially if you have like source material, like if you're doing it from like a
Mm.
novel you've already written.
Right,
So
you don't
it
have to like come up with characters from scratch then.
hmm Although I will say like the characters from like the trilogy that I have mapped out, they like live in my head. Like extra
Oh,
voices.
that's
Like
fair.
when
I
I'm
do
like
kind
deep in
of.
writing, they like yell at each other and it's very loud. Um
I see. Interesting. Because
yeah.
I definitely do like daydream,
hmm
and I definitely have like characters in my like daydream.
Yeah,
But like,
just write about them.
true. Okay, guys, if I write a fanfic, I'll let you know.
Okay. We'll
You'll
post it
have
all
to.
over the socials.
Yeah. Oh god. That that sounds terrifying.
Yeah, I would
It's just gonna be straight like porn without plot. I'll be like, guys, what do you think?
That's like the
Uh,
one thing I can't write because I'm like
I
I can't do it.
I
Like I'll read it, but I can't do it. I
no, I
can't write
don't
it.
think I could either. I don't think I could like come up with that and not cringe.
Yeah, I would
So
cringe so hard because a lot of the stuff I read, I cringe because I'm like, what are you saying right
yeah. So yeah, we'll see.
now?
I do think that fanfiction writers are the backbone of this society. So deep
Absolutely.
respect. Love you guys.
hmm Yeah. I speaking of fanfiction writers, Jung.
Oh yeah. He's kind of earned the title, I think.
So
Uh he's so
yeah,
funny.
Jung giving us a 3-part fan fiction about him and Dunk has been killing me. Um,
He is
oh,
such an icon. I can't even express.
right. He might be my favorite person just because of how he is.
Uh-huh. Like you know that man is like reading things.
Yeah, I mean, it was sometime last year where he was like, "You guys aren't writing fan fiction enough. I'm gonna have to write my own." Um,
He was like chop chop. Or I
right?
have a
And then
couple ideas.
yeah, and then people were like, "We'll write it. We won't make it spicy." And then he's like, "Why not? Where's the NCC?"
Yeah.
It's like, "What are you talking about?"
I know.
People
He's
trying to be respectful, and then he's like, "No."
no, I don't. He's like, I don't want you to be respectful. I want my sex scenes, please.
Give me my smut. Come on.
Yeah.
Okay, June. Whatever
Yeah.
you say, buddy.
I highly respect that man.
Right? Because it's so funny. Because like I get a little weird about like fan fiction about like real people
Mm-hmm.
because I've seen like mixed things, but I've seen so many like actors and like even like K-pop idols. They're like, yeah, we read the fan fiction. It's fine. And I'm like, okay, if you guys are fine with it, then then
Yeah,
it's fine.
right. Yeah.
But I'm like, it
If you're
makes me a little
asking for it
antsy.
too, like,
Yeah, I
okay,
mean,
that's that
Jung's
good
asking
green
for it.
light.
Yeah, hopefully Dunk's fine with it because Jung is absolutely here for it.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
no. But it's something that is not fan fiction.
Yeah.
Gelboys.
Gelboys. Oh,
Um, so this is done by the same people that did I Told Sunset About You, right?
Yes, it's
Yeah.
pretty much the same team from
Mm-hmm.
what I've seen.
Yeah.
And
So,
you can
and
definitely tell,
yeah,
it feels the vibes are very similar in my opinion.
it's it's very like coming of age type of a story, and
Mhm.
and like it's got like the same kind of like a filter whatever over like the film, basically like the kind of like tonal colors outside
Yeah.
of the vibrant ones. Like I feel like the backdrop's like more like damp, I guess. I don't know how to explain that, but like
Yeah.
it's more. If it wasn't for all the TikTok stuff on there, it
Uh-huh.
could easily be like a 90s film to me, you know? Like the
Yeah,
vibe
that's
of
fair.
it. Which is kind of how I felt about like I Told Sunset as well. So,
Yeah, Sunset I was like, do they have phones or is it like a 90s? It's
yeah,
like a
no, they had
period piece or
phones.
something, but no, it's
So,
totally just modern.
mhm. So, um Gelboys though aired February to March of this year, so 2025. So very, very recent again. Um and a quick summary from my drama list is basically that high schooler Formod gets invited a lot of the times to go get like gel nails done by this guy named Chan in Siam Square. And Chan is very flirty, and so Formod falls for him. Um,
Mhm.
but Formod realizes that Chan has also been inviting this TikToker named Bua to get their nails done together too, and so basically Formod's just been kind of kept in reserve at the time, and so to make Chan jealous, Formod starts to use his like best friend Bobbin to do the same thing, and it gets so messy. Um,
Yeah, I think Love Square.
yeah, yeah. There's a
It's
lot.
not a triangle, there's four of them, so
Yeah.
yeah.
And our cast is PJ plays can't talk. Bobbin. New plays Formod. Leon is Boa, and Pied is Chien. I think all of these are pretty new to the acting
Yeah,
scene.
I've seen New before in Ready Set Love, but
Mm-hmm.
he is the only one of the cast that I even somewhat recognized. So, yeah.
Yeah, I don't recognize any of the other ones either. PJ was in Good Doctor, so the Thai version of that one that came out
Yes.
last year.
Yeah. I didn't watch
Um,
the show, but I did see that on his list. I was like, "Oh, that's a show
mhm.
I've heard of the like American version." So,
Yeah, and Leon, this was his first show.
yes. Yeah, I think he's quite young, so.
And yeah, and Pied is the same. He did something as a support role in 2022, but other than that, it's been this
Yeah, I think
as
he also was in like a boy group or something, people were saying that like so that's where
that
some
doesn't.
people might know him from.
Hmm.
So,
Yeah, he was in a duo called Pied McGorn. I
okay.
assume the other half was McGorn.
Yeah,
Um,
that makes sense.
so
So, yeah.
yeah, so kind of a new crew. It's always fun when there's a new crew.
Oh,
Um,
absolutely. But then it kind of sucks because like I finished the show and I'm like, okay, I need to watch everything these actors have ever been in, and the answer is pretty much nothing.
yeah, I'm done.
Yeah,
Whoops.
I'm caught up, I guess. So,
um, yeah, I love this show because I am mid 30s now, right? So I don't know what it's like to be a high schooler in 2025. Um, and I don't know how accurate this is to like, I don't know, maybe a US high schooler, but the amount of social media that these kids have to deal with is kind of crazy,
oh my God, it's like exhausting to
right?
watch even.
Because they don't really use Facebook. They did like a little bit, I think. Like one time I can
Maybe a
think of.
little.
There's
Yeah.
one time I can think of that Format did.
Yes.
But then like Instagram's really big. And then Spotify was one that was important, and then like
Yeah.
TikTok was really big. But I'd say Instagram was probably the biggest of all those. But like they're all
Hmm.
constantly taking photos and filming stuff and posting like all day long. Um,
Yes. And constantly checking who's seen it and like,
yeah.
private stories and all that. And I'm like, okay, my high school experience was more like Sunset. I think that was probably set in the same similar era, I guess, where it's like, okay, like there's still social media, but it's not to that extent. Like people
I
aren't
had
all connected in that way.
I had MySpace in high school. That was it.
Yeah, that was
I
it.
got I got Facebook when I graduated high school.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Like MySpace was it. Like I mean I had like LiveJournal and stuff like that, but as far as like what my IRL people like were like involved with, that was it. Was MySpace. Outside of that I was in forums.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like for me it was just like, yeah, I guess I didn't have a lot of like public things that IRL people followed me on. I had like close friends followed me on like Instagram and Tumblr, but yeah, maybe a little
When
Facebook, but
did Instagram come out? 2010. Yeah, I was already 2010 was my sophomore year of college.
yeah.
Um
Yeah.
so I didn't get an
Hmm.
Instagram for a really long time because I was like, why do I need another social media thing? Because I had gotten Twitter by
Hmm.
then. Because I got on the Twitter thing mostly because I would tweet like what my professors would say because they said some insane stuff. Um,
Yeah.
um, but yeah, I had Twitter and I had MySpace, and then
Yep.
I got Facebook for Farmville. Um,
For Farmville, yeah.
like
Yeah, a little different from the Gelboys experience.
I don't know how I would have handled high school with all of that because like I didn't have a lot of friends anyway. I was kind of like the loner that sat in the corner and read a book. Um,
Hmm.
and it was one of those I didn't hear about what like my classmates were doing until like maybe way later when they got in trouble for like all the parties and stuff like that. I think if I'd have known about
Hmm.
them and how I wasn't invited to them, even though I was like not friends with any of these people, I think that would have like caused me some serious like mental damage.
Oh, yeah. I
Right.
think this is a lot of like, so much more like FOMO.
Yeah. It's fine if I don't know about it. I don't care then.
Uh-huh.
But like even like my like the friend group that I was like on the like outskirts of, like
Hmm.
I knew they got together a lot, but I didn't know exactly when or how often or like I didn't need to know that. But like I would know now, right? Because it'd be all over Instagram. So, yeah, hard pass. Glad I'm 30. Um,
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of
so,
this show is it's I was just thinking about how exhausting these like online social interactions are, but also the way that it like brings people together and it's just so like inseparable from these people's lives. It's like,
yeah.
yeah, it's
I
just
mean,
it's
it's
very
inseparable from my
interesting.
life now. So, like
Mhm.
I get it, but it's definitely a different experience in my 20s and 30s than it would have been as like a 15-year-old.
Yeah, exactly.
Um, so much I'm thankful that I missed most of that in the younger years.
Yeah, me too.
Um, so, but for Formod, then which Formod, before we get really into episode one, Formod, his name,
Oh my god.
it's FOU, the number 4, MOD. Um,
Yeah.
he's
So
named, it's
he
either, is it a song or is it a group?
I think it's a group. I think it's like
Okay.
a I don't know if it's a real group or if it's just made for the show, but it's like a 90s girl group that his mom named him after.
Yeah.
So,
I'm
um,
Googling and I don't see anything besides the show, so I'm guessing it was for the show, but
maybe.
uh, it could just
Yeah.
be that Gelboys took over everything. Um,
Yeah. It's quite a name. When the show first started, I was like, how on earth do you say name? But
yeah,
they
I was
figure it
definitely
out.
going faux for mod,
Yeah.
and I was like, what? And then I heard it enough times in the show where they were like for mod. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah, it's definitely the first time I've seen an actual number in somebody's name in Thailand.
Yeah, probably the first time I've ever seen a number in someone's name ever.
Yeah, yeah. um, so our show starts with him, and he's in a Zoom class because what else is 2025 like? Um,
Mhm.
and he's like sharing a computer screen with another girl. And so it's like the two of them in one, but like everybody else is like individual. So they're having class, and he's like they're out in like public too or whatever. And he doesn't realize they're not on mute. and he asks this girl like, what are we basically? And like, teacher's like, do what now? And so and then they end up like muting and turning the camera off and like walking away, and he's like making her like pick if they're a couple or friends, and we're apparently they're in a situationship. No idea who she is. And so she refuses to like make a decision and like define the relationship basically.
Mhm.
So he blocks her on all social media, including Spotify. Right? So we're right
Uh,
off the bat, we're here the social media stuff. Like he goes through, TikTok, Instagram, and Spotify, and it was like, "Oh, okay."
it's
And
so
then we see
thorough.
him yeah, it's like I wouldn't even think to block somebody on Spotify. Um
Mhm.
And after that, he goes and has a breakdown in the middle of a shopping center, um, which is fun. Um,
Yeah. That's definitely a
um,
place to do that.
right? Like, I mean, I can't say anything. I had like a breakdown yesterday at my desk at work. Like, that's normal.
Mhm.
I have a corner desk and nobody sees me anymore, so I can actually have breakdowns and no one notice. It's great.
Oh, nice.
Um,
That's wonderful.
so let me have my moment. No one talk to me. No one can perceive me. We're fine. Um,
Yeah.
But yeah, he has a full-on breakdown in the middle. Like he's sitting on like a bench in like the middle of like the busiest part of the shopping center and just sobbing. Um,
Yeah.
which fun fact, that was I think the very last scene they filmed
I
for
think,
the show.
yeah. Yeah. They also
Um,
filmed a lot of the show with an iPhone, which is like
yeah.
so cool.
It's a very cool show.
Yes.
So and then after that, I guess he figures his life out. So he decides to change his style a little because what else do you do when you break up or your situationship, right? Like he doesn't do anything super drastic. He just styles his hair now. And his model for that was Ong Lee from Proxy, which is a real T-pop group. Um
Ormod is a real group.
is it? Okay.
I found them on Spotify. Seems like they're like mid 2000s girl group
Okay.
duo. It's just on here it's spelled just like for mod without the number, but
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
So some clarification on that. That's also a real group.
Interesting. I just tried oh, I spelled it wrong. I just tried to look it up on mine and I just got a whole bunch of like Chinese like novel.
Yeah.
But yeah, okay. That's cool. Um There's a lot of 4mod playlists now too, which is kind of fun. Um,
Yeah, right.
so, but yeah, so he styles himself like Ongli now, which good for him. Um,
Gotta
and
have like a style inspiration, you know?
yeah. And then his mom is like driving him and his sister to school, and he like convinces her to let him start taking the BTS to school, which is like one of the main like subway public transits things to around Bangkok. Um, I'm sure it stands for Bangkok Transit System or something like that, to be honest.
Yeah. I like how in the scene though they play like a BTS song though.
Yeah, yeah, that's
Like
the
there's a
lead
lot of
into it.
yeah, I love it. There's like so much like K-pop in
Mm-hmm.
this show, which honestly like does because I loved K-pop in high school. So a lot of
Hmm.
that I was like this is relating to my high school experience.
That's fun.
Hmm.
I did not know what K-pop was at the time.
Yeah.
My first K-pop song was in high school though, and it was "Tell Me" by the Wonder Girls.
Oh yeah.
So that came out when I
Um,
was a junior, I think. And my friend sent it,
yeah.
who was living in Hong Kong at the time, sent it to me. He goes, "You'll like this," and I did. And I did no
Yeah.
other research, and so I never listened to K-pop again for another like 5 years.
Yeah. That was me too when I first heard G by Girls' Generation, and then years later I didn't start like really getting into it. So
Hmm. So, but yeah, because they're listening to BTS. He's like, by the way, speaking of, can I start riding the BTS? And mom's like, maybe when you go to college, because he's in high
mhm.
school. And he's like, you said I could start taking it whatever, like years ago, and it hasn't been. He's like, let me do it. And so finally she's like, fine, whatever. So he gets excited. And she drops him off at like the station, the nearest station, and he goes and he buys like a student card, and he's in the subway. And he's trying to take selfies, but he hates the way his selfies look. So he gets this random dude standing next to him to take a photo of him with like his new like BTS card. And it's like in his mouth. Like he's such a he thinks he looks so cool, and I'm sure for like a I don't know 17-year-old he probably does, but like
Yeah,
looking at it's
Format
so
is like
goofy.
he's like such a loser, and I love him dearly for that because he has no idea.
Yeah, it's very funny. Um
Hmm.
so I can't imagine the way he was posing for like if I was on the subway and I wanted to take a photo. First off, I would never ask a stranger.
No,
Um but then to
selfie that.
yeah, and then but even like the poses he was doing, I'm like I would be so embarrassed.
Yeah.
Like good for him for not. Um and then we meet Bobbin cuz he meets up with Formod on the BTS. And Bobbin is a blink. His bag is covered in a Blackpink gear. Um,
Mhm.
and Formod's like, "Hey, the next Blackpink concert, I want to go with you." And Bobbin's like, "What?" Because Formod is not a blink.
Yeah.
Formod doesn't know anything about Blackpink besides maybe that Lisa's in the group. Um,
Mhm. The show kind of revolves around Lisa.
it really does.
She's like a central character, but she's like not in the show, you know.
Yeah, which is fun.
Uh-huh.
Um, so they make that plan though. And then when they're like leaving the BTS to like walk into school, Formod makes eye contact with Chien now as they're both leaving. Um, and like Formod like lingers for a second while he's like trying to get his like car to work, whatever. And then as he's walking away, Chien like pulls out his phone and like takes a photo of Formod.
Mhm.
And also then we get a really cool shot of Chien's nail art because the other big part of the show is the nails. Um, so they have very stylish, very cool, very fun, colorful nails.
Uh-huh.
Um, and then after that, Chien like catches up to like Formod and he's like, "Hey, I caught you in my shot." Like it's such a bullshit line. Like,
It
"Hey,
really is.
you happen to be in the photo I was taking." And he's like, "Let me airdrop it to you." And Formod like pulls out his phone. He's an Android user. You can't AirDrop is a Apple nonsense. Um,
Uh-huh.
so Formod's like, "Sorry, dude."
Yeah. It's
And
definitely it's an interesting pickup line, and I like that Chien's stuck with that one because it's quite bad, but you know it seems to work. So
yeah,
good for him, I
like
guess.
apparently that's how he does it, which is
Yeah.
I don't I'm an Android user, so I don't understand AirDrop.
Me
I'm just like,
too.
dude, like I know some people just like leave their AirDrop thing on and like we'll get random photos and stuff and I'm like, is that safe? Can you get a virus that way?
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's I don't know. Yeah, I think you get some photos. So,
Yeah. So it's just fascinating to me, but I'm like, I'm gonna stick with my Android.
yeah.
Um, and then we see Formod in his Chinese class, and he's like stalking Chien on Instagram already.
Hmm.
And apparently Chien is also stalking him though, because Chien like goes to Formod's first Instagram post and likes it.
Ooh, when I saw this, I was like, that is sending a message.
Right? So
You
that's where
know?
Formod leans back to like the people behind him and they go, "Hey, if somebody does this, what does that mean?" And they're like, they're flirting. Um, if
I
I do
love
that, it's an
mhm.
accident because
Yeah,
I'm
no.
stalking.
This is like a very direct like moment. And I love that Formod whenever like someone is like making passes at him, he does not get it or he doesn't like
Mhm.
believe it and he's always just like asks his friends and stuff what it means. And I honestly I respect that.
Yeah, honestly, same. That's
Mhm.
if you're
Instead of
not
just like
like direct with me,
misinterpreting.
yeah. If you're not
Mhm.
like direct with me and going, "Hey, I like you," I'll never notice.
Yeah. That's how he
So,
is too. Or he's like I think
yeah.
he like notices something but he's like nah, it can't be. Unless
Yeah, he needs that confirmation that he's reading the room correctly. Um,
yeah.
so, and then after school, everyone goes to these fruit carts that are like right outside of campus, which I think is fun and I would have loved to do as a kid. Um,
Yes. Me too. I wish we had street food here.
yeah,
Like we
it's
have like
definitely just not
food
a thing.
trucks. Yeah. We have like food trucks in like some places, but like I don't know. Could be a weather thing for us too, because it's like you can't really be outside in the winter. But I wish we had like outdoor food stalls more.
Yeah, I mean, we don't have it here either down in the south,
That's true.
which could be because it's too hot in the summer, but yeah, I don't think it's really just part of our culture too much. I only see it when there's like a
Hmm.
festival or something going on.
Yeah.
Um, but this wouldn't have worked out for us anyway either because we school bus, so I had to get straight on the bus to go home, but
Oh yeah.
still would have been cool.
Yeah. It would have been nice.
Yeah. So Formod is buying his fruits or whatever he's buying, and he sees Chian as he's like about to get on the tuk tuk to like go wherever he's going after school. And he's so not sly. He gets on the tuk tuk and puts the camera in like selfie mode so he can look behind him and watch what Chian is doing. Which
Genius idea.
right? Like I mean, I can't say I haven't done that, but like come on.
Yeah.
And and what he sees is Chan is flirting with another guy. I think he's airdropping again. Um
Uh-huh. His one pickup line. He's got to
Right.
try it on everyone.
Hey, if it's working,
Yeah.
go for it, I guess.
If it ain't broke.
Yeah. So then we jump over to Chan later, and he's with Boa. And they're filming TikTok like dance challenges because that's what they do together. Um,
Mm. Yeah,
and
they're
then
like
Boa,
best friends basically.
yeah, I don't know if Boa goes like a different school or something. I think he does.
I think he does
Um,
too.
so yeah, so I think he's at a different school, but like Chien, Bobbin, and Formod all go to the same school. But Chien is also a year ahead of Formod and Bobbin
Yeah.
and Boa, I think.
And Boa, yeah.
So, but yeah. So after they get done with their challenges, Boa goes with Moo, who is also there. And they go get snacks and whatever, and they were gonna go bring it back to Chan, but there, he runs into Formod, who I guess had been lurking because it's what Formod likes to do.
Yeah,
Um,
he's a big lurker.
yeah, and Formod like comes up and is like, "Hey, can I interview you for my TikTok?" And he's like asking questions. He's like, "Yeah, that friend that you were dancing with, like, is he single? And how would you rate him? And all this stuff." And Boa's like, "What are you doing?" But also, he's like a 2.5, which is brutal.
This scene gave me such bad secondhand embarrassment.
Right? Like
I'm
it's
like,
so obvious what he's doing, but come on.
this was at first I was like, okay, so Forma doesn't know how to communicate really, and so he's pretending to interview this guy he's never met about his friend and if he's single or not. And of course, Boa's like pretty off, like put off by this because he's like, what is this weird guy doing? And I also am like, what is this guy doing?
Yeah. Boa was like, yeah, Chien doesn't get serious about anybody, and he just airdrops everybody. So he's just like calling his game.
Yeah, he's I Boa's nothing but forthcoming and honest, and he just kind of tells it like it is. And he's my favorite character. I love him so much.
Yeah, I love him too. I think Bobbin's my favorite.
I do. I love Bobbin.
Like,
The two
I
of
just
them.
right, yeah. So, but Formaji, like, yeah, my friend likes him, so I was getting information from my friend, and like, there's no way Boa didn't just see straight through that.
Yeah, he definitely.
So, so after that, Formad, who has noticed Chan's nails, decides to go to the nail salon and also get his nails done, and then he posts them on social media so everyone can see them, right? Because that's the thing. Like they are constantly in the show, constantly posting on Instagram, on TikTok, on whatever, like constant.
Mm. I
So,
am obsessed with their nails, though. I would love to get my nails done like that, but it must just take so long. I just don't have that kind of patience.
so I wouldn't. I would struggle because because they have so many designs on like the top of them
Mm-hmm.
that they're like so thick and stuff that I'm like I was in a wedding last November and I got like dip nails done for that. So like it's it's just a couple coats on top to, do that. And that was already too thick for me. I couldn't do what I needed to do, like with like peeling stuff off and whatever. Like couldn't use my nails for anything and it drove me insane. Um, I don't know
Yeah, they
that I
always
could
have like little
handle,
attachments and stuff, and I'm like, that must get so annoying.
right? Like it looks really cool. It's like animals and stuff like that, but I walk into the wall a lot. My hand hits the wall a lot.
Uh-huh.
My watch is so like beat up from me like walking into the wall. I'm like, I
Interesting.
would, yeah, I'm so clumsy. I joke that
Yeah.
I'm like a walking pinball, um, because I overcorrect when I walk into the wall and I walk into the other side after that when I'm
Oh
walking down a
no.
hallway. I would destroy these nails so fast on accident.
Yeah, I probably would too because I use my hands for so much stuff, but they look so cute. Like all the nail sets throughout the show are super adorable.
Hmm.
Um,
And the
and
nail
yeah,
salon is a
definitely
real
like
place.
yes, it is. The nail salon they always go to is a real place that I really want to go to, but I'm sure it's like really busy now.
I'm sure it is.
But it's so cute.
So, um, yeah, so then like later at school, like a little while later, there's a lot of time jumps in this and they don't really clarify them because I kept thinking a lot of this happened like day to day to day. But then it'd be like
Hmm.
the nails are grown out and it's like, oh yeah, it's been
Yeah.
like a month or whatever. And I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, right. That's
because
honestly how they measure time in the show is with like the nails,
yeah, so it's a
which is
little
kind of
hard to keep
fun.
up sometimes, but it is really cool.
Yeah.
Um,
Hmm.
because the whole show, it's only 7 episodes, right? And it covers 2 years.
Uh-huh.
So we cover a lot of time because there's a lot of like it's a lot of like a couple months later type of a thing. Um but yeah, so at school later, Chan and Formod are like using the same sink outside to like wash their hands. I think they had like some sort of sports day or something and they were washing before they went back inside. And Chan like notices that Formod's nails are done. Um and then he like points them out or whatever and like Formod just doesn't even talk. He just walks away.
He
That
wants
happens
to
a
be
lot.
chased.
Yeah, he does. Um When I was rewatching this, I realized how many long pauses there are where everybody's just looking at each other and nobody says anything.
Yeah, it's for that tension.
It is like I'll say watching it the first time, I didn't really like I noticed it, but it wasn't to the point where I was like, why are we not doing anything? It was definitely like there's this tension of like teenagers trying to figure out like how to talk.
Uh-huh.
So, but yeah, it was just funny because Formad like doesn't he just walks away. Like, okay. And then after school, at the fruit cart again, um, Chan invites Formad to go with him to go get their nails redone. So, this would have been them hanging out for the first time. And then Formad
It
just declines
works.
it. No, it doesn't.
Yeah, that's true.
So,
Listen, you
um,
gotta play hard to get,
yeah. I mean, I
I
guess it,
guess. I
it does
wouldn't,
it.
but
No. Well, as a teenager, I probably would have because I was dumb, but now I wouldn't. There's no need for that.
no, there isn't.
So,
But it's
but
fun, I
during
get it.
all of the, yeah. So, but during all of that, Formod misses the tuk-tuks, that take them to like where the train station is. I guess it's like the Siam whatever center. What was it called? The Siam Square, I think is where the BTS station is, and that's where like they hang out a lot in that area. And so instead of taking the tuk-tuk over there, he has to walk it now, which isn't super far, I don't think, but it's just who wants to walk?
Yeah.
Um, and he's like awkwardly behind everybody because like Chian is also there
Mhm.
walking the right way. So he's like, I don't know, like 5 feet behind Chian. Um, and while they're walking, Chian starts to follow Formod on all of his socials. So like he gets the notifications for all that.
Uh-huh.
Um,
Flirting
and then when
through
they're
social media. Love it.
right, like I'm gonna follow you. Um, One of the interesting things I about this show, I think, is they'll follow each other on like Instagram and stuff like that. But like it was a big deal, and it wasn't till like much later. There's a little bit of spoiler ahead, but like much later before like Chan and like Formad share like their line accounts, right? And then
Uh-huh.
it was even later than that before they shared like their actual cell phone numbers.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like for me too. I mean, I think I have like a lot of friends where like I don't have their actual phone numbers because I never contact someone through text really. And so I just
That's
like,
so
yeah,
interesting
message them through like
because
Discord or whatever, Instagram maybe.
if it's a friend that I didn't meet through the internet, so like through like Discord, like K-pop and stuff like that, my way of communicating is still texting in like a normal text
Hmm.
app.
Yeah,
So,
I've really never used texting. My friends and I, we also used to all use Kick when that was a thing.
yeah, I had
But
Kick for a little while.
yeah, but we even then, yeah, I pretty much, and then most of my friends now, a lot of times we'll use like Kakao, because
Mhm.
I have a lot of friends I met in Korea and stuff. But yeah, but I'm
Yeah.
like, yeah, I don't think I have their like actual numbers at all.
That's so yeah, so that's any of my foreign friends, it's all honestly it's WhatsApp for all of them. But I have like Kakao and Line and all that just anyway. Um, but I'd say Discord is my main one for everybody, but like
Yeah, definitely.
again, if it's somebody like from IRL, like from work or school or however I make a friend, it's all like give me your phone number.
Oh,
So, yeah. So, definitely like I think a generational change there.
yeah.
Um, that's what a lot of the show was for me is, this is what it's like now. When did I get old?
Uh, this is easier,
So,
I feel.
yeah, I mean it makes sense.
Mhm.
Um, it's a lot easier to be like, yeah, go find me on Instagram at, bl.in.the.air.
Yeah.
And it's easier to block people on there than it is a text message, I would say. Because I think there for a while the texting app that like was default on my phone didn't even let me block numbers. So
I don't really know how to block people through my phone. I've never done that.
I if I just go to it, there's under like the three dots on my texting thing, there's a block and report spam button. But I wonder, okay, so it was block and report spam. Yeah, even in like numbers I know, it's still just block and report spam. And I'm like, okay, but they're not spam. I just want to block them. Um, but I don't know how to unblock numbers, so that's permanent.
That's a good point.
Yeah. So, but yeah, so Chien has now followed Formod on Instagram and TikTok, I think are the two, because that's the two main ones, and then there's Spotify that comes in and out. Um, and then everyone that was walking, they all meet up at like this drink shop to go get drinks, and Chan ends up behind like Formod and Bobbin. Um, and Formod's like, "Hey, I know you wanted a shirt for whatever. Um, you want to go shop and get that now?" And Bobbin's like, "Yeah, let's go. Whatever, fine." And Chan's just kind of like lurking there, listening and like being awkward. He's so awkward. I feel like he's the most awkward out of all of them because a lot of times he just like stands there and just does nothing.
Yeah, he's not very like forward.
No,
Well, at least
it,
when we see him here, he isn't. He's kind of, I don't know. He just kind of sits back and whatever. But later we'll get to know him a bit more and
yeah, for sure.
get to see
But
that
even
different side of him.
yeah, but I'd say even then, after you get to know him, like if you say something and he doesn't know how to respond, he just stares at you.
Yeah.
And he gets like a really nervous grin on his face and he just
Uh-huh.
stands there. And it's like, cool,
Yeah.
great, good talk. So, but yeah, so Formod and Bobbin get their drinks and they leave, and Chian just like sticks his head out the door and like looks after them, but then doesn't follow them. And so, but Formod also like barely helps Bobbin. He like grabs a shirt and goes, "Here, this one you should wear, whatever. Don't even worry about it. Go buy it. I'm gonna leave now." Right? Like 2 seconds of that, and he's like, I'm gonna go get my nails done. So then he does go to the same nail salon as Chien, who is already there, of course. But they're sitting now back to back, and they're not talking to each other. But they both keep taking turns, like turning around and looking at each other because, of course, they do.
So cute.
And yeah, it's so funny. It's adorable. And then since Chien was there first, he also finishes earlier, and he actually waits at the front of the store for Formad, which is like a 2-story store. So he's like on the first floor, and the actual like nail salon's on the second floor. He's waiting for Formad, and he's like, "Let's take photos together of our nails." Um, and then Chien gives Formad the nickname of Gelboy. Because at first he makes a Formad like joke about like the group or whatever, and Formad's like, "You can say whatever you want, I won't answer." And it's where he was like, "What if I call you Gelboy?" And then Formad gets mushy.
Yep.
He gets weak.
I love like the push and pull they do all episode before like finally like talking to each other, you know?
Yeah.
Like it's so good just to leave it all up to like actions and longing glances and stuff. It's done really well.
Yeah. So yeah, then on the ride on the BTS back home, Formad also returns the follow on social media and follows Chan. So I'm sure that was a big deal, you know.
Yeah.
Then interestingly, he's walking down like the stairs and he's like looking through Chan's like social media or like a photo or something of him. And he has like this daydream of like Chan walking up and like kissing him on the cheek. So we are already down bad.
Yeah.
It took
Definitely.
next to nothing.
No.
So
Hey,
and
he
then
knows what he wants. So
yeah,
good for him.
absolutely. And then at home, Formad is talking with his sister, and he's like bribing her to like trade phones with her because she has an iPhone, and that he wants an iPhone so that he can do the AirDrop thing. And she agrees after he offers to pay for her Spotify for like 3 months or something like that.
Yep. I love they just God, she's like, I need your phone because I need to flirt with this guy more.
Super funny.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and then after school sometime later, again, he finds Chan and he's like, "Hey, can you airdrop that one photo from like forever ago, from when we first met?"
He's like, oh, look, I got an iPhone now.
Right? Like, look at me, I'm part of the group now.
Yeah.
And then for Mod, uh, his phone, he has named it Gelboy because you know that's what Chan called him the other day. And Formod's like, "You want to go get our nails done again?" And Chan's like, "Actually, I just had mine done like last week, so no." But then Chan like walks off and goes to Bua, who's there, and Formod sees it and is immediately jealous. So that's gonna be a problem.
It's gonna be a big problem for the rest of the show.
Yeah. So that's episode 1. So it's mostly, I feel like, introducing characters and kind of setting up what's going on with Formod and Chan
Yeah,
more than
it's
anything.
definitely this show is fun because like the first couple episodes kind of each have their own person it focuses on. Um, which I think is like I always love shows that do that, like Skins and stuff, where it's like every episode is focused on a different character in the friend group. The show kind of does that as well, which I love getting to know. Like, it's a good way to get to know all the characters, you know?
Yeah, it was really interesting that they did it that way with how short the show is. So, but it works because it's not like they neglect the other characters in the process. And episode 2 though starts with Formod and Bobbin getting their nails done together. And Chan starts a playlist with Formod on Spotify for them to listen to songs together for when they get their nails done together.
I
But
love
Formod
doing
does.
this.
Do you?
Yeah, I love like if I'm like with a friend or something, it's like, what do we listen to? It's like, well, we'll just have Spotify combined as a playlist.
So again, I'm old. This is what this teaches me because I didn't even know that you could do like a joint like playlist on Spotify until like last year.
Oh yeah. It's so fun when we like play games with my friends and stuff. Like
Hmm.
we have like for Valorant, we have like a Val Pals playlist and it's just like all of our like shit combined. So
Oh, that's so fun.
yeah, it's really great when you're with like other people and it's like, what should we listen to together?
Yeah, I'm the equivalent of an auxiliary cord hoarder. It's like this is mine. It's fine. I will control.
Yeah.
um, but yeah, so I doing the like shared Spotify playlist thing is very new to me.
Yeah. That's so cute though.
Hmm. Yeah, I like the idea of it. It sounds fun.
Mm. Yeah.
Um, but Format doesn't join the playlist right away. Instead he starts snooping on Chien's like Spotify account and he sees that Chien and Boa also have a shared playlist. It
Of
has
course.
like an hour's worth of music on it. Um, so you can, the amount of stalking, like social media stalking that happens on the show cracks me up.
This is like exactly what I do though. Like
Oh, same.
I will if I was like interested in a person, like I'd find their like 7th grade Spanish project on YouTube or something, you know? Like
Oh yeah.
I'm finding everything.
Mm-hmm. No, absolutely. Even now, even when I was younger, it was one of those, it's if you have an internet presence, I will find all of it.
Yes. And
Um,
Spotify is important. I gotta know what kind of music you're into.
oh yeah, not having compatible music interests is rough. Like I don't need
Yeah.
somebody that listens to like K-pop, but like there's other music I listen to.
Mm-hmm.
I need you to fall into some of those categories.
Yeah, right.
Um, especially like I have music playing like 24/7. I do not sit in silence.
Mm-hmm.
So, speaking of music and music videos and stuff like that, Format Bobbin and like a whole bunch of classmates are all together in this room to watch the new Blackpink music video.
Scene's
So,
cracking me up. Bobbin is so excited.
yeah, he is losing his shit.
Yeah.
This
Relatable.
same. This kid is like a hardcore Blackpink stan.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and so Format is there, and Format is just kind of like whatever about it. He's like, "Yeah, great." And he starts a shared playlist with Bobbin. And he's like, "I need you to add songs so that I can learn about Blackpink." Because Bobbin's like, "Why are we doing this?"
Mm-hmm.
And Bobbin's like, "Okay, fine." And so they start um doing that. And
And it's definitely to like kind of make Chien jealous, you know.
yes.
But
Anything
Bobbin
Format
doesn't know
does,
that, so
no. He thinks his friend actually cares about his interests.
yeah.
Sorry, Formod. He kind of sucks a little bit.
Oh my god, yeah. I mean, Format definitely does probably the most like annoying things in this show.
Yeah. Like I get it because he's a teenager, it's fine. Like I don't hate him or anything like that, but he is kind of the worst.
Yeah, he's definitely yeah.
So, which
He
I
does
mean,
some interesting things.
which I'll say all of them are problematic in one way or another. To an extent, but it's like teenage stuff. Like it's not like, oh, that's a red flag. It's a, oh, you're a dumb teenager.
Yeah, they're just like kids, you know.
Yeah, it's fine. Um, And then Chan messages Formod and is like, "Why haven't you joined the Spotify playlist?" And Formod just leaves him on red.
Yeah,
um. So then Chan shows up at Formod's band practice because Formod's in a band, by the way. Um, like a not school band, but like an actual band. He plays like guitar or something. Um, and like Chan's there, but they don't actually talk. Chan's like
yeah,
watching I I think he's watching Love Between Fairy and the Devil or something like that. It's a Chinese drama. Um, starring Dylan Wang. I'm pretty sure is the one he's watching. And like after practice is over, Formod walks over and like turns the or the play speed from 1x to like 2x and then just walks away. And like that's it. Like that's the whole interaction.
It's very much like it's very testing the waters, flirty,
Mm-hmm.
you know.
Yeah. This whatever push-pull thing they have going on is hilarious.
It is.
And but so Formod and the rest of his bandmates, they're like at a shopping center later, and Chan shows up there again. And he sits next to him, and like Formod's adding stickers to his guitar, and like Chan like helps him put like or plays with like one of the stickers or whatever, and then Formod invites him to their next gig, which is like Chiana's like, oh yeah, are you gonna play whatever, and Formod's like, yeah, I'm gonna play, wherever in 2 weeks. um and it's such a like everything's so coy because it's Chiana's like, oh, are you gonna invite me to it? And Formod's like, I'll only invite you if you actually come, and like they're back and forth like that till finally it's like, yeah, then I'm inviting you.
Coy is a good way to put all of their interactions.
Mm-hmm. Oh, it's like that a lot. Nobody is
Yeah.
forthcoming with anything.
No.
Um,
But yeah, I mean, you don't want to be too forthcoming, in case the other person's not feeling the same way.
no, for sure. I mean, I like all of this feels natural. Like this is exactly the type of flirting I would have done at 17.
Yeah.
Um, like, yeah, I'll invite you if you want to come, like sure.
Yeah, you have to come though.
Yeah. Um, and then when they don't show up and then you just ghost them because like how dare you? Um, so,
Yeah.
um, so yeah, and then Formod, I lost it. Oh yeah. Formod sees Chan and Boa later. Like they're sitting on the floor waiting for a 4Eve event, which 4Eve is also another real T-pop group. They're a girl group.
Huh?
Um and he like sees them listening to music, so they're like sharing an earbud listening to their shared playlist. And he like stalks their playlist a little bit. Um
Mhm.
and this triggers him to finally join Chan's playlist himself, like the one that Chan sent him. And he starts adding so many songs. So like the
Yeah.
playlist with Boa has an hour's worth of music on it. It's like an hour and 10 minutes or something like that. Formod adds over 6 hours worth of songs to this playlist.
Hey, he's got to compete, and
Wait,
he's.
the playlist he adds songs to is Bobbin's. Sorry. Um,
Oh, okay, I see.
yeah, because it looked like it was really confusing because he joins Chan's, but he doesn't actually add any songs. It's
Uh-huh.
the scene was a little confusing. Because he's actually adding them to Bobbin's playlist because it's one
Yeah.
of those of like pay attention to what I just did type of a thing.
Mhm. He has to try to make Shen jealous because he's jealous, so he has to make Shen more jealous.
Absolutely. He wants
Mhm.
all this attention, but he doesn't want to outright ask for it.
Exactly. Yeah, he
Um,
wants to be like chased like so bad, but
yeah.
you know.
Because after that, Formod and Bobbin, they go to eat dinner, and it's like this place where there's always like a really long wait. So they have like you get like a ticket with your number or whatever on it. So they do like this photo shoot with their like ticket to get in while they're waiting. And like Formod like obviously posts it on Instagram, whatever, and he keeps checking like his like views, and like Chan like never looks at it and doesn't react to any of the photos or anything like that. And Formod loses it a little bit because of this.
Uh,
Um, because he wants attention and he's not getting it.
he
um,
demands attention.
he does. And same, to be honest. But at their school assembly, they're all like they have like morning assembly. I don't know if it's every morning, but you see it a few different times. But and I've seen it in a few other shows. I think the Eclipse has it a lot with the morning assembly. So I feel like it's a normal part of Thai school where they're all like standing outside, um, with whatever's going on. But Formod was like trying to maneuver his way through the lines to get like closer to Chien to get like his attention. Um, it doesn't work out though. So Um, he has a little spiral meltdown of it again, and he has like this photo of Chan on his phone, and he's like editing it to look really weird. Um, and then he takes the stickers off of his guitar. Like he starts with the one that Chan had played with first, but then I think he takes a few more off, and like suddenly he's like he's at home now when he's having this meltdown with the stickers, and then he's laying in bed and he's like covered in stickers, and then he masturbates while
Yeah,
he's
of
covered in
course.
stickers.
As you do when you're a teen boy who doesn't know how to cope with anything.
It's
or communicate. And this is the best way out.
it was such a I don't know, like the scene caught me so off guard.
Yeah.
I was like, what do you mean you're covered in stickers and that's what you do? Okay. Oh boy. So then we jump forward a little bit to Formod's band gig. Chian does show up, but he's there with Boa, so it's not too great.
Yeah.
Um, and Formod sees them, of course, and so he spirals again and scrapes off all of his nail art.
Not the nails. I bet he
Right?
paid good money for those.
Yeah, it makes my nails hurt to think about that too, because
I
it's like he's like
know.
not gentle about it. Um,
Yeah.
and like during the show, Formod goes into the crowd and he lets people sing into the microphone, and of course he goes straight to Chan to, like give him extra attention. Um, and then towards the end of the gig, uh, Formod's like, yeah, so if you go on our Instagram for the band, we're letting everyone like submit a song and we'll pick one to perform. And Formod, I guess, is the leader of this band, so like he picks Chien's request, which I think was a 4 Eve song. I don't remember anymore, but I want to say it was a 4 Eve song. Um, and he pulls Chien up to where the band is so that he can perform it with them. So they have that moment.
Mhm.
You know, of course, I would honestly, I would melt if I would have stage fright, but I would also melt if I was getting this attention from a guy in a band. Um, but you
Uh-huh.
wouldn't get me on stage. But after that, Chien finds Formod and invites them to get their nails done, since Formod no longer has nails on or nails decorated. And so they go together and they share an earbud while they get them done. Um, and then they, of course, have to do another photo shoot of their nails so that they can post them on social media. Because do you ever do anything if it's not posted on social media?
Exactly.
Does it count?
Well, you have to post it where Bua might see.
Yeah. Um, So Formod then once again starts adding hours worth of songs onto a playlist. This time it is Chan's playlist. Um,
Uh-huh.
and then they hug while they split at the BTS.
Cute.
So yeah, we have some affection. And it's cute to see them hug because I'm like, I don't know that I ever really see guys like properly hug when they like
Yeah.
leave.
I don't either.
I'll say when I got a little older, when I was in my 20s, I saw it more. Like, and I mean, now I
Mhm.
feel like it's normal, but like as a teenager, like I don't know that any of my guy friends would have been like willing to hug anybody.
Yeah. I mean, it is. I mean, it might just be more of like a romantic interest thing, but
Yeah. So who knows? But it's cute. They're hugging.
uh-huh.
It's how far we've made it is hugging. Um. So, but Formod forgets that he still has the earbud. In his ear, like Chan's earbud, so he has to like run onto his train to give it to him, but he doesn't get off the train in time, so he's stuck on the train
Oh
for
no.
things. So that's fun. And then we jump forward again to Formod's at like a party, like a school party with Bobbin. And while he's standing there, he just decides that's a good time to delete his playlist with Bobbin. So I guess he's done using that as a tactic to make somebody jealous.
I guess yeah, it served its purpose.
Yeah. Um and then we see Formod and Tian like standing outside of like the band practice room again and they're talking and Formod is like, "Can we be more than friends?" And Tian is like, "I just wanted to talk for fun." Like that's it. I didn't want it. He's like, "Sorry for leading you on." Like he didn't mean to do that and he's like, "There's somebody else that I like that he likes." Which
Oh,
spoiler is Boa. Um and it
yeah.
just like it's fine if all you want to do is do the like fun like talking part of everything and like the flirting push pull thing, but you gotta like be clear about that.
Yeah. I know, especially like Bormod as well has I mean seemingly had a history where he just really wants a relationship and everyone he asks is like, "No, I don't want something serious."
Yeah, I just want to play around because that's literally
Yeah.
how we started the show. I I always forget about the first girl.
Yeah, me too.
Um, So, Formod does try to like play it off though, and I was like, yeah, that's not a big deal. It's fine. I wasn't really serious about this either.
Yeah,
Um,
haha, like, could you imagine? Like, that's so stupid, not me.
so they did talk a little bit more. And then Formod's like, okay, but what are our limits? And Chan's like, what do you mean? What are our limits? And Formod's like, yeah, can we still hang out? Can we do stuff? Can we kiss?
Mhm.
Well, then they kiss right then and there. They're like, let's see.
Let's find out if we can kiss. Only one way to know.
Yeah, so they do kiss and then they giggle a little bit. And Formod pushes again. He's like, I want to clarify like what our status is. And Chian's like, actually, we should start without having a status because that's healthy. Um,
Yeah. Also, the theme song of the show is called No Status Status. And
oh,
it's by
is it?
Bus. Yeah, it is so good. So,
Yeah, I do love the song. I knew it was by Bus. I just had no idea what the name of the song was.
yeah, I like
Um,
looked it up recently because I added it to my playlist. And I was like, oh, the name makes sense.
yeah, I have like a T-pop playlist that I just dumped a bunch of stuff on.
Hmm.
And I know it's on there, but I never pay attention to song names.
Yeah.
But that's funny. But yeah, this whole no status thing is awful.
Yeah. I
So,
mean, you can
uh,
tell, like, Xian definitely is interested and, like, likes him and stuff, but obviously, as we'll learn, there is someone that he's liked a lot for a really long time, and,
yeah.
that's kind of in the forefront.
Mhm. Which sucks.
Yeah, it does.
Um, so yeah, so that's how episode 2 ends. Um, so episode 3 starts with Chien and Boa filming TikTok challenges again, some more dance challenges. And Boa's like situationship is still also there. His name is Moo. So this is, I think, like the last time we see him.
Yeah,
Um,
I kind of completely forgot about Moo.
yeah. He's like mentioned like one more time after this, but you never see him again. Um,
Uh-huh.
and then later, Boa calls Chian while he's at home, and they talk about the playlist. And Chian's like, I think Format's serious about me. He keeps adding an insane amount of songs, and it's that's so fascinating to me that like that's a marker of whether or not somebody's serious. It's how like I guess it's the same as like for me it was the mixtapes, right? Like not mixtapes, but like the burnt CDs. Like that was our thing instead of playlists when I was like a teenager. It was you would do like a mixtape like of songs of on it and burn them onto a disc,
Uh-huh.
and that's what you'd give
Yeah,
people.
I think kind of like the idea here is that like you listen to this while you're together, so like the longer the playlist is, the longer that you're gonna be hanging
Hmm.
out together,
Yeah.
So, if it's like 6 hours of music, then it's like, okay, well, we have enough to listen to for like we gotta hang out for 6 hours.
I don't want to hang out with anybody for 6 hours, but I will listen
Yeah,
to
that's
music for 6 hours.
yeah.
You leave, I'll let you know how it is later.
They're
Um,
high school students. They don't have anything else to do.
yeah. I still didn't want to hang out with anyone for 6 hours back then. Um, um, yeah, and Boa on the other side is like, yeah, I'm worried about Moo too, because all he does is add songs about kissing to their playlist. And he's like, I'm worried that Moo is gonna try and ask me out. And he's like, I don't know that I want that.
Yeah.
Um, which is fine, because we're never gonna see him again. Um,
Yeah. That's okay.
and then Formad is with Bobbin. And he tells him about the no status thing between Chin and him. And Bobbin clocks it immediately. And Bobbin's like, he's got you on the hook. Like you're just there, like as a reserve. Like this isn't gonna end well.
Yeah. Yeah, he's
And
immediately not a fan. I
yeah,
mean, for other reasons, we'll find out.
yeah.
But he does clock it right away, where he's like, "Yeah, it sounds like he's leading you on," kind of.
Mm-hmm. So, but Formod's like, whatever, it's fine. You don't get
Yeah,
it.
you don't get it. Also, you know, I'm kissing the guy I like, so I don't really.
Yeah, it's
I'm
fine.
not gonna be too like critical about it.
Mm-hmm. So, um, yeah, so then we jump to Chien gives Boa a phone for Christmas, or excuse me, a phone case for Christmas, and he wants to hang out, but Boa's like, I have to go hang out with Moo. So I guess we do see him for a second. And Chien's like immediately like just super jealous.
Yep.
And so to deal with his jealousy, he goes to hang out with Formod because that's healthy.
It's definitely something.
Yeah. And so Chien and Formod, they're walking again back to the Siam Square. And they're walking behind Boa and Moo. And like Formod's like talking away. Like he's yapping like crazy. And Chien is like not paying attention at all because he's just watching Boa ahead of him. Until Formod's like oblivious too that this guy's not paying any attention to him.
Uh-huh.
This poor kid.
I know. He definitely does he know it's Bua that Shan likes at this moment? Or is that not been confirmed yet?
I think he suspects but isn't certain.
Okay.
I think is kind of what it is. Um, it definitely gets more clear later, but I think it's more of a this is the only other guy around. I don't know who else it would be.
I feel like he might have said it when they first talked about like Shan liking someone. Like I think right away he was like, "Is it Bua?" But I could be wrong. I don't really
I
remember.
I don't remember that being the case, but I
Okay.
could have missed it.
Yeah. Well, either way, it's I feel like a lot of just like people trying to make each other jealous, kind of.
Yes. um. So yeah. So but eventually, Formod like challenges Chan to a race, and so then they run past Boa and Moo, and so finally has his attention. And then Chien and Formod, they go shopping together. They're in like this really cute store, and they make a really cute like video in the mirror at that store. And Chien posts it to his Instagram close friends, which I don't know if it was explicitly said at this point, but like his close friends at this moment is only Boa.
Uh-huh.
So, um, and Chien also sees that Boa has been posting videos of him and Moo together in his close friends. And
Mhm.
Chan then goes to Chat GPT for advice.
This is never the way to go.
I think this is insane that this is where we're at. Um,
Again, I mean, he yeah, it's kind of like wait, who does this? It's Tormod,
Chan.
right? Oh, Chien
No, no, no,
does?
it's Chan, yeah.
Okay. I think it does kind of reflect like so Formod has a lot of family. He's really close to his sister. He has Bobbin, whatever. He's got like a good group of friends. And so he's constantly asking them like, okay, what does it mean? What does it mean? Whatever.
Hmm.
But a lot of Xian's episode is him being pretty lonely cuz
Yeah.
like he doesn't live with his parents. It's
Yeah,
got
they're in
it,
like Toronto or something like that.
yeah, they seem to travel just constantly like without him or something and his home life feels very melancholy and he only really seems to be close with Bua who he's in love with but doesn't love him back. So it's very so I think it does like it reflects on his character that like he doesn't have someone to turn and ask like what this means, which is so it's like okay, modern day, he asks a robot essentially. But
Mm.
I like I do think I mean I hate Chat GPT, but I'm like okay, I do see how this like adds to his character
Yeah.
description.
No, it definitely makes sense. I just it's still like an oh, okay, this is where we're at as a
Well,
society.
it's
Um
yeah, it's sad in multiple ways.
yeah. So I don't think I thought about it in the context of him not having anybody, but that's very,
Mhm.
very accurate.
Yeah. I
Um,
just kind of just right now.
yeah, because he really doesn't have anyone.
No, yeah, this his
Um,
whole episode I was just like I just kind of felt bad for him. It was like I just felt
mhm,
pretty sad.
yeah. Um, so, unrelated, but sort of related. I like earlier this week it came out that San from ATEEZ also holds conversations with ChatGPT and like talks about I think like his grandfather and he's like named the robot and it's like a whole thing now.
Oh my god, don't
So
use it for therapy, please.
I know, right? I'm like, please just go get a therapist.
I know, it's only gonna tell you what you wanna hear.
Yeah, and it's not like it's so inaccurate.
Yes.
So, but yeah, after talking to ChatGPT, Chien then removes Boa from his close friends. So, I guess now he doesn't have any close friends on Instagram.
Uh-uh.
Um, so and then when they're at home, Boa keeps trying to call Chien, but um Chien like ignores it and like smokes a joint instead.
Fair.
and and then he cries while he's smoking.
Yeah.
um I'll say I
This is
think
when I
this
started
is
feeling really sad for him.
yeah. Yeah, this was a turning point for me with him because before I was like, okay, you're just kind of weird.
Yeah.
Um and like what are you doing? Like why are
Uh,
you like leading Format on and all this? I was like, I'm not cool with any of this. And I'm like, okay, now I feel bad.
yeah.
But I
He's definitely
also
not doing it to be malicious. It's just that like he's severely lacking affection and attention in his life and you know, he just like can't
mhm,
really turn it down.
yeah. Um I also can't think of another show where I've seen a character smoking a joint.
Um and like a Thai show or
Yeah. Like a Thai BL.
yeah.
So I thought that was interesting
Yeah,
because like
that's
it
true.
comes up a
There
couple times.
it does, yeah. We'll find out more about Bua's parents, but yeah, that's a good point. I guess I don't really like I know it's like legal in Thailand or
Is
like
it?
normal. I think it's
Oh,
I mean,
I have no
I,
idea.
I think it is. I don't know. But yeah, I guess I haven't really seen either.
Yeah. So I thought that was interesting. Just as an aside.
Mhm.
Um, and then Shan keeps ignoring Boa and confirms with Formad that they're gonna go get their nails done together. And Formad's like, yeah, you should dress up for it. Um, and so Chan like gets real extra about it and he goes to his closet and he's like nothing works so he starts to order clothes online for their nail date coming up. And I thought that was really cute that he all of a sudden got really excited for it.
Yeah. Yeah, like he genuinely does like Formad.
hmm So then the day of their date, Chan is really like super self-conscious because he's in like a really tight crop top but also like he's fit so it's fine. um and they end up in like a dressing room together, and Formad's like, wear whatever you want and just be comfortable. It's fine. You look good. I thought we were gonna get another dressing room scene.
I did
That
too. I was thinking back to Only Friends here.
yep, and then nothing happened. It was just a pep talk, and then they walked out.
I don't know. They did the like so he has like a outie belly button thing,
Oh
which he
yeah.
was like really self-conscious of, and
hmm
Formad was like saw it and was like, "Oh, that's like sexy," you know?
Yeah, but it's still very tame, right?
It's
Like,
tame, but like it is you can still feel like sexual tension,
hmm
like a lot of it, I feel.
yeah. So then they go rollerblading, which is fun.
Mhm. I love rollerblading. I'm not horrible at it, but I'm not good.
I I was all about the roller skates, not the roller blades. I was
Mm,
not very good at staying upright on roller blades.
I see. I love rollerblades I prefer, but I cannot stop in them, so I can't really like use it as a mode of transportation cuz like they don't have brakes. So, you know,
Do they
I
not?
can't no, not really. You're supposed to like pizza with them, but if I'm going down the hill, I'm
Oh,
like, how do I do that?
oh yeah. So, because it's I took ice skating classes, and so I guess it's similar at that
Yeah, I
point.
think so.
I wasn't good at stopping in those either, though.
Yeah, it's too
That was,
hard.
yeah, I was scared of it, and that became my weakness.
Yeah.
Um, And so while they're hanging out, Formod finds out that Chan actually knows how to do nails too. He says he can only do like really goofy designs though, but that's some bullshit. Um,
He's a pretty good artist.
yeah, he is. And so Formod finds that out while they're getting their nails done. Um, and he's like, "Okay, I need you to do my nails at some point." And then they have another photo shoot when their nails are done because again, constantly social media posts on here. Um, and then Formod's phone battery is low, so they have to like find an outlet and then go hang out and just sit around while they charge his phone for a bit. And then they have a makeout session. Which is a really funny one because they're like on like in facing a wall, like leaning on like I don't know some sort of like shelf bar thing, whatever. But it's just a wall with like a bunch of posters on it, and that's where they're making out at.
It's so cute.
Mm-hmm.
I love this scene. It's really cute.
It is, but it makes me want them to define the relationship and get rid of this no status nonsense, and so it frustrates me a little bit.
Um, just keeping it casual, I guess. Unfortunately.
Yeah, that only works when both people are down to keep it casual.
Yeah, it's true.
But then they do buy matching hats, which is cute.
It is.
I do like couples clothing. I like couples clothing when it's not the exact same because they buy the same hat but like in different colors.
Uh-huh.
So like you're matching but you're not, you know?
Yeah. That's much better in my opinion than like full matching.
Yeah, full matching freaks me out a little bit.
Me too.
I do like it sometimes because I know like Korea's really big on like the matching outfits when it's like just the same like color scheme.
Yeah.
Like I can handle that too when it's obviously different clothing but the same color scheme when they do it that way versus like the matching t-shirts.
It's too much. I can't. I cringe a bit.
Yeah. Reminds me of like the 90s when like the airbrush stores were really popular in the mall.
The airbrush stores. Oh my
Yeah,
god.
have you ever bought an airbrush t-shirt? Because I have.
I've never bought one, but I definitely remember that being a thing.
Yeah, mine had Blossom from the Powerpuff Girls on it.
Ooh, I love the Powerpuff Girls.
I do too. My first AOL username was Powerpuff Girl related.
Was it really? That's so cute.
Yeah, it was Powerpuff 3215165.
Wow.
AOL auto generated
I
the
see.
numbers.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, no, I was all about some Powerpuff Girls as a kid.
Yeah, that was my favorite show.
I dressed up as Blossom for multiple Halloweens.
Me
I
too.
had the really cool.
I wasn't Blossom, I was Bubbles for multiple Halloweens.
I love that.
Yeah.
I think IRL I'm probably Buttercup, honestly. I'm just a bully, it's fine.
Yeah.
Airbrush thing. I played softball for a year. My helmet was airbrushed with Blossom on it.
Oh my god.
And then Chan adds Formod to his Instagram close friends, so he has a close friends again. While they're on the BTS heading over to Formod's house. And then at the house they're filming more TikToks, and it's like an outfit of the day type of a thing, whatever. So it's one of those of like him putting clothes on type of a thing. And Formod is like trying to figure out what he wants the caption to be, and he then uses like an emoji set that basically is code for will Chien be Formod's partner? And Chien's like maybe not do that because people are gonna misunderstand.
Baby
So
boy, I think you're misunderstanding.
Yeah, I think Formod was pretty clear with what he meant by that.
Yeah. It was more for you than for anyone else, but yeah.
Yeah, which I think he got, and he just wanted to avoid.
Probably, yeah. He's kind of panicking.
Yeah,
He does
and
not do
Formod,
very well with commitment.
no. But Formod's like, oh, okay, I guess I'll find a different um caption, whatever. I'll deal with it later. And then things are super awkward, so Shan just leaves.
Oh, sucks.
Yeah.
It's a bad end to like a good date.
Yeah. It's rough. Way to go, Formod.
Yeah. I mean,
I don't blame him, but also like
shoot a
the kid.
shot.
Yeah, Shan has made it very clear that they're just gonna be in this limbo.
Yeah, I feel like probably Forma probably thought like, oh, we went on this date where we're very coupley and it went super well and we were kissing. So like, maybe he like changed his mind or something, but no.
Yeah, if only.
Mm-hmm.
Um, um, but instead we jump to another day, and Boa comes over to Shian's house, and Shian does his nails, and then Shian adds him back to his close friends because this goes back and forth constantly.
Yeah. It's kind of like, him trying to get over Boa, but like when push comes to shove and Boa's like, hey, do my nails, it's kind of
Yeah.
shows that, okay, he's not quite ready to let this go yet.
Yeah, I think my equivalent of this was my top 8 on MySpace.
Mm,
Now that I think
yeah,
about it.
I know. I don't feel like, yeah, I feel like I don't really have an equivalent.
Yeah, I'll say my way around this was my top 8 was my favorite bands.
Oh, yeah, that's a good way around it.
Yeah. So that was how I avoided it most of the time. Except there was like this one guy I was like talking to, and I was like, I'll put you in my top 8, but he was still not number 1 because like nobody was better than whatever band I was listening to. Um, some emo pop punk band. Um,
Yeah, man, they should bring that back.
MySpace or
Yeah, the MySpace top 8.
no?
Or just top 8. Just, I just think it's funny the idea of social media where you have to rank who your favorite friends are. It cracks me up.
Yeah, I'm good with that not coming back.
All
I don't know. I wouldn't mind
the
MySpace coming
drama.
back. Yeah.
Yeah, MySpace should come back too, but
Yeah.
I
We
don't know
need
if that's
Tom back.
happening.
Did you have a MySpace?
No, I didn't.
Okay.
I
So
was
Tom
like,
was
I mean, I know Tom.
okay. I
But...
follow him on Twitter now.
Oh, really? Yeah, it was kind of the
Yeah.
age where like my friends with older siblings had MySpace, but I'm
Mhm.
the oldest in my family, so I was always like,
Yeah.
I feel
That
like
makes
if
sense.
you people with older siblings are into like older things normally, then if you're the oldest,
Older
then you're
things.
into younger things. So what?
Older things. Yes.
Older?
My
Yeah.
childhood is older things.
Well, even like I'm sure for you too. Like, well,
Yeah, no, I'm
you're an only child, kind of, but
yeah. So I don't have that because a lot of my friends were also only children somehow. Um
oh, that's crazy.
yeah.
I
Yeah,
don't really know many.
my best friend that lived across the street from me was an only child. And then when I moved, we moved next door to an only child, and he was one of my closest friends. And then my first friend at the new school, yeah, like most of my closest friends were only children.
All of my friends are the youngest, for the
Oh,
most
that's
part.
interesting.
Yeah. So I don't know why, but I was like thinking about that one time.
Yeah, I think a lot of my friends now are siblings. Like now that I'm older, I think most of them are. But I think it's very random if they're oldest, youngest, or like middle or whatever.
Hmm.
So I think there's a mix.
Yeah.
Trying to think.
Anyway.
I think a lot of them are youngest, which is kind of interesting.
Yeah. I don't know why.
My best friend is the younger of two, and somehow, and she's also younger than me by like a year. So like we're close, but like it's a year or whatever. But she's Asian, and she's taken the approach of being the older one of the two of us for some reason, and like babies me, and it's really funny to me because I see it from like what I know of like Asian culture, right? From like different like because she's Vietnamese, but like I've seen it a lot in like Korean culture of like the older one looking out for like the younger one, and that's how she treats me, and I just sit back and I'm like, what is happening? I'm
You're the
like, this
baby
is
now.
reverse, right? Like I always joke that I'm like the fake Magne, um,
Uh-huh.
because that's how I've always been treated. Because growing up, a lot of my friends were older, so I was used to being the baby, and
Uh-huh.
then I hit a turning point where I was suddenly the oldest. So
Yeah.
now that I'm like the fake youngest, I'm like, this is fine.
Yeah.
I'm like, you guys can baby me. That's fine. I'll accept it.
Yeah, it's kind of nice.
Mm-hmm. Um, so later, after Chan has added Boa back to his close friends, they're at school, and after school, Chan sees Boa and Moo together. And like he's hurt by that for some reason, because jealousy, whatever. And so he goes on like a solo walk because that's what he does. He walks solo a lot.
Yeah, he's got on a sad boy walk.
And that's how the episode ends. And I'm pretty sure that's the last time we see Moo is episode 3.
It's possible. I don't know why, but I just I barely remember Moo.
Yeah.
So he must not be in it much after this.
No, I can think of one spot where he's mentioned, and I was like, oh, I forgot that was even a plot point.
Yeah.
And I don't remember seeing him. Because even like a lot of these other scenes, it's like Boa and Moo like in the distance hanging out, and not like any speaking lines at that moment.
Yeah, Boo doesn't get a lot of speaking lines until now. Until this episode, basically.
So episode 4, like you said, like a lot of these were like different POVs. This one is definitely the Bobbin episode.
Bobbin episode.
Yeah. So we see Bobbin meet up with Formod on the BTS again. And then we like jump forward to like them at school. And their band is doing this end of the year gig, and Formod is like watching Shan as he like walks by, but I don't think they're talking at this point. And so Bobbin's watching Formod watch Shan. And then Bobbin gets really sulky, because he's having to listen to Formod talk to somebody else about Shan later. So something's up there with Bobbin, of course.
Wonder what it could be. Let's just add another person into this.
Right. So
mess.
Here's where we have our square.
Yeah.
And then this is where we learn that Chan cut Formod off after that one hangout at Formod's house where Formod was like, "Will you be my partner?" in emojis. And Formod and Bobbin, they talk it out while they're rollerblading again. And apparently it's been a month since that's happened, so it's been a month since they've talked. Or since Chan and Formod have talked. And it's really funny because they're sitting like on the bench where they're rollerblading and they're talking, and it's just the two of them, and like this group comes over to sit near them, like not interact with them, they're just sitting nearby. So then they switch to texting back and forth. And that's such a mood. I do that too. The moment anyone comes near me when I'm talking, I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna stand here and text you next to me.
Yeah.
And then we see Bobbin and Formod are doing a tarot card reading to see what their luck is for getting Blackpink tickets. And the tarot card reader's like, Formod, the fortune is gonna smile on you or something like that, right? And it was like, Bobbin, good luck, basically. And that's pretty much how it plays out. Formod gets their tickets. So they're gonna see Blackpink. That's so exciting. I would also pay money to see Blackpink. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, it was so funny just watching him do like the fortune teller to
Yeah,
just for like K-pop tickets. I'm like, that's so relatable.
it really is. And then he starts shopping for like concert outfits. And Bobbin's like, Formod, you should do with me what you would want to do with Chan so you can get over him. Which
No
is
ulterior motive at all.
no, that's not healthy for anybody.
It's not. But it's a very teenage response.
Oh, absolutely. And then Formod wants to hold hands, so that's what they do. But then he also like starts texting Bobbin as if he's like Chan, so he's like, "I miss you" and stuff like this, and Bobbin's like taking screenshots of this, which we find out Bobbin has a massive folder on his phone of screenshots of messages from Formod. This kid is so down bad.
Yeah. It's like when this started happening, I was like, oh no, not Bobbin. Like, I wanted him out of this mess.
For real. But it was so funny seeing the folder. I'm like, that's the most relatable thing that's happened so far.
Yeah, it's like massive too.
Yeah, like it is so big. It's so funny. So yeah, so then later, Formod and Bobbin are going to go get their nails done at the same salon again, and they run into Shan there. Um, and Formod's like, should I go say hi? Should I talk to them? And Bobbin's like, no, leave them alone. But then Shan comes up to them and is like, hi, Formod. And it's very awkward again. There's so many like pauses in between all these things. Like everyone's like all smiles, but also like no one knows how to talk.
Yeah.
Like Bobbin's just there. Bobbin's like, I'm no part of this. I'm just here.
Mm-hmm.
And Shan's like, what are you guys gonna go do after nails? And Formod's like, actually, I'm only here to drop Bobbin off. He's meeting up with somebody else. I was gonna go for a walk. Um, and so those two, Formod and Chan, leave, and Bobbin has to go get his nails done by himself, and it makes me very sad.
Makes me so sad too. Because he's like, "Are you serious? Like, come
Right?
on."
Like, good on him for not calling Formod out. Like, he's a good bro,
Yeah, he
but
is.
also that sucks.
It sucks for him. Yeah. Even
Yeah.
even if he didn't have feelings for Mod, it just kind of sucks to be like ditched like that. You know?
Oh yeah, I would be so mad.
Yeah.
I'm like, invite him to get his nails done with us, or like, say as soon as we're done, like you can ditch after that. Like that's fine. But like we
Yeah.
committed to this. Are you kidding me?
Yeah. I think he's just very understanding that like, okay, they definitely have some things to talk about. So,
hmm
probably shouldn't be there for it, but
Yeah.
sucks.
So Formad and Chan are now hanging out. And Chan is very sulky. Like not because of Formad, just in general, he's very sulky. And then like his battery is low, so Formad's like, "Oh yeah, you can just use my like charger, not a big deal, whatever." And then while they're doing that, like Chan sees like Formad's phone and his battery is also like nearly dead. Um, and so he's like kind of processing together. He's like, okay, this kid is like, you know, giving me his phone battery instead of using it himself. And he softens up to him a little bit and is like, wait a second. And he's like, hey, do you want me to do your nails myself?
Uh-huh.
Which cool, great, except I hate this so much. This makes me so mad. Formod calls Bobbin and he's like, hey, by the way, I'm gonna skip the Blackpink concert because Chan is gonna do my nails.
Ugh. Ugh.
I'm
They're
so
just
mad.
like so yeah. Like that I would be so pissed at this.
Absolutely. And Bobbin's like, can't you do that literally any other day? And
Yeah.
and and Formod's like, no, I have to do it this day when he wants to do it, and then after we're done, I am gonna confess my feelings to him. I was like, again, I'm sitting here going, any other day.
Any other
Like,
day. Yeah,
and,
we got to go see Lisa.
right? Like, come on, dude. Like you committed at this point, if nothing else. Um, so yeah. Okay, whatever. And then Bobbin does my favorite thing. He does some serious internet sleuthing to get at Shan's line account. He finds a photo of Shan on, I think, Instagram that's got like a QR code on it, and it's like a going away thing for like a teacher or something like that, right? And so he changes his line account to look like the other person, like the teacher or whoever it is. Um and so he does that so that he can join this group chat that the QR code links to, so that he can then go through the list of everybody else that's in the chat, get Chan's line account from that, change his back to normal so that he can message Chan. I love it.
Yeah, it is. I love this shit, honestly.
hmm
That's the kind of thing I feel like I'm just like really good at. Just like extreme stalking to find people.
Yeah, I love it. I'm obsessed.
Uh-huh.
Um, so he then messages Chan and um he's like, "Will you stop messing with Formod? I like him." Right? Like, come on.
Mhm.
But then before Shan can see it, he also unsends it, which is a normal thing for him.
Yeah,
He does that
Bobbin's
a
a
lot.
big unsender.
Yeah. So, but yeah, we have that. And then Bobbin sells Formod's concert ticket to Boa, of all people. Um,
Mhm. And this is where I'm like, "Oh, wait. What's going on here?
Yeah, so Bobbin and Boa don't know each other. Like, I think Bobbin knows him, like, in passing because of Formod, but, like, they've never actually met. So their first time meeting is when they meet up to give the ticket because it's a physical ticket and not, like, an
Yeah.
e-ticket.
Yeah, I think he knows.
Um,
He's like, oh, this is Shen's best friend, whatever.
yeah. Because Bobbin takes that meetup where the guy's literally sitting on the back of a motorbike. Like, he doesn't even get off of the motorbike. But he takes that as his perfect opportunity to be like, so when are you and Chan gonna actually be a couple? And Boa's like, the fuck are you talking about? um,
But everyone is always saying like weird things to him, and he's
yeah,
just like fairly normal.
yeah. And because he does not take this questioning very well. He's like, why are you so nosy? And like, what business is it yours? And he like hands him the ticket back and he's like, I don't want this anymore. Thanks anyway. Goodbye.
Mm-hmm.
And Bobbin like tries to chase after him for a little bit. He's like, I just like 4 mod. Like that's it. I just need, Chien gone, basically.
Yeah.
But Boa has having none of that. He's gone. But then outside the concert venue, Bobbin sees Boa there. He's got like a sign where he's like looking for a resale ticket. It's really funny. And he's like, I have a ticket. Just buy it from me. It's fine. Like whatever. Like stop. I know you want to see Lisa too because they are both Lisa biased. So then they do end up going to the concert together because their seats are now together. Um, and then the scene is really cute between Bob and Boa to me because Format sends like a photo of like Chan and being like, "Look, we're together," because they're like sitting outside somewhere by like the BTS and like Chan has like all of his like nail stuff everywhere, so they were just kind of taking over part of the ground outside. Um, and so Format sends it to Bobbin though, while like Bobbin just sitting in the stadium waiting for the show to start, and he's like sulking, and Bo is just sitting there next to him, and they got light sticks, and Blackpink's light stick is one of my favorites because when you hit somebody with it, it's like a little hammer thing, and it squeaks.
Cute.
So Boa is like talking to Bob and he's like giving him kind of a pep talk and whatever, talking through like what's happening. And like anytime he's like, I need you to get your shit together, he like bonks him on the knee and it's just like squeak.
Uh-huh.
And Boa tells Bobbin that he's not interested in Shan and he's like made it clear that they're only friends and they will only ever be friends. So
Mm-hmm.
um yeah. And then Bobbin is like, yeah, well, Formod's gonna confess to Chien today, and then they're gonna end up together, and yada 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 yada. And Boa's like, and you're just gonna let Formod go that easily? He's like, just call him and confess, like right now before he can.
Yeah. I
Um,
mean, he's basically like, does Format even know you like him? And
yeah, which no,
Bobbin's like, no. And Boa's like, well, I mean, you can't be like upset if you haven't even tried, you know? Like he doesn't
exactly,
even know you like him.
yeah. So, which real, if you want somebody
Yes.
to know you like them, you have to tell them at some point, whether or not you
Yeah.
want to.
Yeah. Otherwise,
Um,
they might go confess to someone else, and it's like, well, you can't be too upset about it.
Yeah, for real. So yeah, so Bobbin does actually get up and he goes and he tries to call Formod to confess. But Formod doesn't see the phone call and doesn't answer because he's busy talking with Chan, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
Getting his nails
Bob
did.
yeah. So Bobbin does the one thing that makes me the maddest. He leaves the Blackpink concert. Like what are you doing?
No, this stressed me out so bad. I would never ever leave a
No.
concert of my favorite K-pop group for a guy I liked. Like
No. Never.
it's crazy behavior. And I feel so sad. I'm like, no, this is your concert.
Right? Like this is what he's been looking forward to. Like he is such a big
Yeah.
like Blackpink fan. Like, come on. Um,
Yeah. Don't let this guy ruin your concert for you.
yeah. But yeah, he does. Because Bobbin then leaves. Bobbin does find Formod and Chan. And he sees them having like a great time. So he doesn't walk up to them. Instead, he starts recording a voice note confessing to Formod, right? And then he records 7 more.
Mm-hmm.
They're all like 15, 30 seconds long, whatever. Um, And he's like standing there like watching them have a good time while he's sending these messages, and then he unsends all of them because again, it's Bobbin. That's what he does.
Yeah.
And a little later, Format sees like the string of all the unsent messages, and he's like, What happened?" And Bobbin's like, "Oh, I pocket dialed you." Um, like,
Oh.
okay, sure.
Yeah.
Format on the other side also chickens out on confessing to Chan. He's like, I'm not. He tells Bobbin, he's like, I'm not gonna do it. He's like, I think I already know what the answer would be anyway, right? And Bobbin
Mhm.
is in like the K-pop store or whatever. They have like a little corner dedicated to Lisa, and he's like crying, staring at a photo of her. And he sends a screenshot of like Formad confessing like his feelings for like Chan to Bobbin. He sends that screenshot to Chan, and like leaves it at that, and is like, just don't tell Formad.
Yeah. Very
So then
sneaky.
and Chan's like, And he looks at Formad, and he's like, hey, there's a photo booth. You want to go take photos in the photo booth? And so they go. And that's where Shan finally shares his line account with Formad. So it took to this point for them to actually connect in that way.
Yeah. I mean, I think I love the way that the show uses like social media as a metaphor for like relationships, you know,
Oh, absolutely.
with like all the close friends and like now like him adding him online finally. It is like a it's physical and it's like a metaphor for, the new way
Mhm.
that the relationship is connecting. So I
Yeah.
love the way that they did that.
Yeah, I think it's great. It's so interesting as a way of marking like milestones basically.
Yeah.
And so they do that, and then like while they're doing that, they start kind of playing with their hands. And then they like hold hands. And then then they get really handsy. Where Chien is holding Format's hand and pulls it towards his crotch, and like leaves Format's hand on his crotch, and then his hand wanders over to Format. Um so that's what they do in the photo booth.
And then
Um
both are just taking.
yeah, it's a choice.
It is. I honestly, dude, this scene was so crazy. I was not expecting it, but
Me neither.
it's so
So
good. Again, it's just like kind of the silent tension that like the show does a lot of where, you know,
yeah, because there's
no
no
one's saying a
dialogue.
lot, but like a lot, you get a lot from it still.
Mhm. Yeah, because literally nobody's talking from like the point where it's like, here's my line, and like whatever. After that, no words. It's just emotion,
Yeah.
which I think
And
speaks a lot for the
hormones.
actor. Yeah, I think it speaks a lot for the actors though, because they get the point across very well.
Oh my god, the actors are fantastic in the show. Like
Mhm.
I'm blown away by all of their performances.
Yeah, because you're really riding on a lot of expressions and like micro expressions and like the little things, because there's not always a lot of dialogue. There's a lot of empty silence where it's not even like background music. It's just silence.
Yeah, right.
um so yeah, so that's episode 4.
Oh,
3 more to go.
yep.
Um Hold on. Episode 5. We have Sheehan and Boa doing more TikTok dance challenges because it's literally what they always do. And then afterwards, Sheehan is like eating dinner with Boa, and he goes, "Hey, I can't do any more TikTok videos with you." And Boa like immediately like tenses up. He's like, "What?" And Sheehan's like, "I don't want people to get the wrong idea." And by people, he definitely just means Formod. Um,
Yeah. Yep.
but he doesn't say that. He just says people. He's like, "We hang out a lot, and people are gonna get the wrong idea about it, and whatever." It's like, it hasn't bothered you for like years, but okay. Um, and then Bo was like, "Okay, well, how are you and Formod?" And Shannon's like, "Oh, we're talking." So, talking phase. Um, and then after that, this is a very Boa focused scene or episode.
Yeah, it is.
And Boa is at like his mom's bar. Is it her bar, or
I
I know she
think he
works there.
has two moms.
Yeah.
and one of his
I don't
moms
think they're
owns.
together though,
No,
right?
I think they're separated for sure. And
Yeah.
one of them owns like a weed bar, and I think that's where like he lives as well.
Yeah.
Well, I
Oh,
think maybe he splits his time between his parents, or he mostly lives with his mom that owns the marijuana bar. But yeah.
yeah. I don't think I caught that was a marijuana bar.
Oh yeah. That's why.
I'm
Yeah,
oblivious.
I'm like pretty positive.
Yeah, I
But
mean, I
it's
don't doubt
like
it,
because
but
they're
I
always
totally
like
missed that.
smoking weed there. But yeah.
Um, but yeah, but it's very not great situation there because like the two moms or whatever are like fighting or whatever, and he's just like sitting somewhere in like a corner crying for a little bit.
Yeah.
And he is literally always filming content. Like I don't
Uh-huh.
think he always posted because he was like filming like his parents or like the two women like fighting at one point, like not physically, like arguing. So I assume he didn't post that, but like that camera is always going.
He is like a content creator too, so it's probably just,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah. He's a
habit and
TikToker,
stuff.
so I just I forget my phone has a camera sometimes.
I never ever use it.
Yeah, so but Boa then calls Chan to talk because I think they have like a thing where they talk like every other day, but Chan's like, actually we shouldn't do that anymore.
Hmm.
So then Boa calls Moo. So we did get him one more time instead, and he's like, "Hey, do you want to film TikTok content with me?" And Moo's like, "No, like I don't, I don't like that. You have to like watch the practice videos and then learn the choreography and the dance." And he's like, I don't want to do all that. So no." Like, oh,
Fair.
okay. So I don't blame him, but also like Boa's sad.
Yeah. He needs a friend.
Yeah. So then we see Boa's hanging out with like some mutual friends of like that he has with like Shan. And that's where he finds out that he's not close friends with Chan anymore. Um, yeah, because apparently Chan has added other people to his close friends. Because like there for a while it was literally just Boa. Um,
Mm.
but like the other friends are like in his close friends thing, and so they show him like what Chan's been posting, and it's like all just stuff with Formod.
Yeah.
um,
It's rough. I mean,
yeah,
completely from his perspective, his best friend started dating a guy or seeing a guy, and he's completely cast aside, you know?
yeah, which is literally my least favorite thing. Like I
Yeah.
hate that so much.
Yep.
Um, because it especially around that age, it always happens, right? Like it's so normal for that to happen, but it's so frustrating.
Yeah, and I don't know if he
Well,
fully understands either that, like, the reason why it's happening. Like, maybe he
yeah.
does, but, like, partially because Jen needs to get over him, and partially because Formod would be upset about it, like them hanging out
Hmm.
so much still.
Yeah.
And I think Boa just doesn't, I don't think he understands the extent of Shin's feelings for him.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
Yeah,
Um,
so, like, they just, they're doing it for a reason, which is shitty, but, like, from Boa's perspective, he doesn't understand.
mhm. Yeah. So that happens where Boa's like, "Oh, great."
Mm-hmm.
Not a big deal. And everyone else is like, "Yeah, it's just close friends." And I'm like, "I bet that is a huge deal." Because it's one of those I'm like, I know as soon as Boa walked away, they were all like gossiping about it.
I mean, if I found out I wasn't on my best friend had a close friends thing without me, I would be like, I'd be so sad.
I would be too, but also if I was like the one watching it from the sidelines and be like, "Yeah, I'm also on this friend thing." Soon as that friend is gone, I'd be like, "So what happened between those two?"
Yeah, right. Tea.
What's the tea? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but then Chien and Formod are at like this gaming cafe and they're playing like some game with some other people. And for some reason Formod was sulking. I don't know if they lost or something. I don't remember. He was sulking.
I think they were playing Valorant too. Which I could be remembering wrong, but I remember it being a game that like I play, and I'm like relatable.
That's hilarious. I just
Yeah.
what got me was to get Formod to stop sulking, Chien starts quoting Mean Girls.
I know. I'm like, I for some reason somehow Mean Girls. never loses relevancy.
Yeah, it's crazy because I would not have expected like Thai teenagers from 2025 to like be able to quote like all that kind of quotes from like a movie that came out early 2000s.
Yeah.
But here we are. It's fine. I
Yeah.
also quote Mean Girls any chance I get. So,
Yeah. It is like the most quotable movie of all time.
it really is. It's fantastic. That's so fetch.
Yeah.
um, so yeah. So, but also, Chan is also now at the university and actually lives in a dorm now. By the way,
Yeah. We've skipped some time.
yeah. Um, skip the summer basically because we saw like the end of the school thing, but
Yeah.
um, and like. So Chan's in school, and Boa goes to see him in person to confront him because he's like, "Why are you cutting me off? Like, what the
Uh-huh.
hell?" Um,
Very fair.
And this is where Chien kind of like lays it out. He's like, dude, I had really strong feelings for you in the past. Um, and then we would do all this stuff together and we had like our music playlist and whatever and hang out. And then he was like, I watched you do all the same stuff with Moo, right? And he's like, I couldn't handle it, basically, right? It hurt.
Mm-hmm.
And Boa does honestly, I don't think gets it still at this point. He's like, what?
Mm-hmm.
And but Boa's like, okay, but like look, I'm fine with you and Formod hanging out. Like that's fine. I just don't want to be forgotten in the process, right? Which
Uh-huh.
is also valid. Um
Yeah.
so then they make up finally. They're okay again.
Yeah. I definitely like I do see this as relatable too, where if like you're the one who you're just friends with someone and they start to have feelings for you and you don't feel the same way, it like kind of sucks for you too because it's like, well, you don't have any control over the situation kind of, and it's like you
Yeah.
just want things to be the same, but like, things aren't the same.
Yeah, like that was absolutely not Boa's fault that Chian has feelings for him, right? But
Mhm.
also he was kind of stringing him along with some of that. He did not.
Mhm.
He says early on, I forgot, it was like episode 2 or whatever, where he's like, "I made it clear that we're only friends." I'm like, "Did you?
Yeah. How
Did
clear was
you?"
it?
Yeah. Um. So then we have Boa walks Jan back to his dorm, and he like leaves, and then he comes back, and he's like, "Chan, I'm gonna tell Moo no when he asks me to date." And he's like, and Chan's like, "What?" and and Boa's like, "We're not gonna work out anyway, so we might as well not even try. It's fine." And I'm like, "This is terrible," because now Chan is definitely back on the hook too, as reserve.
Yes.
Like this did not accomplish what you wanted it to, Boa. Or maybe it did. Maybe he's also
Oh,
suddenly into Chan. Um,
yeah. I have
so
thoughts, but oh no,
yeah,
this is okay. I think we'll get into this a little more once the next time they're in the dorm together, but
yeah,
I definitely think this is kind of the part where Bua starts weighing the options of like what do I value, what am I willing to do to keep Xian in my life? Like,
yeah,
if
absolutely.
like I don't want to lose him,
Hmm.
so maybe I can try
Yeah,
to be into him the way he's into me because if I don't, then I lose him for good, is what
yeah.
like, he's seen so far. So, yeah,
Hmm.
I think that's kind of thought process here.
Yeah, I agree. It's definitely a struggle for Boa right here because it's like, how do you save a friendship that is damaged in this way?
Yeah.
um. So, but later we see Chien is with Formod and they're eating dinner, and he's showing Formod Boa's TikTok channel, and the channel is called Gelboys, which is like, wait a second.
That sounds familiar.
Yeah, I was like, that's the nickname he gave Formod. Like,
Uh-huh.
and Chien's like, yeah. So about that, I gave you the nickname Gelboy to make Boa jealous.
Oof.
Yeah, right. I'm like, and you waited till now to tell me.
Yep. It's not
But
something you want to
Formod,
hear.
yeah, Formod takes like a second and then is like, actually, it's fine. I forgive you. It's whatever.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah.
but then Chien's like, also, Boa asked me to do his nails tomorrow, and then we're gonna film TikTok content. And he's not asking, he's telling him that that's what's gonna happen. Chien's like, I'm gonna go do all that tomorrow. So, and I'm like, okay. Like, it's very twofold for me because I'm like, on one hand, I'm like, nobody can tell me what I can and can't do and who I can and can't hang out with, but also, like, there's feelings involved here, so it's a little more complicated.
Yeah, right.
Like, it's not just, oh, I have a friend I want to hang out with and you're not gonna tell me I can't. It's that person I have feelings for.
Yeah, that I would be a lot less comfortable with.
Yeah. So, Formod, though, is like, hey, actually, I want to hang out because I want my nails done too. Can I just tag along?
I love
And
the
it looked,
solution.
yeah, I think it's a good one, but I also feel like Chien didn't want it, but didn't have a way to say no.
Yeah,
So,
right.
um, but before that happens, we see Formod is like walking around outside, so like Siam Square or wherever, and he gets stopped by like these two people for like a TikTok interview. So I guess this is just a thing that just happens. Um,
Uh-huh.
I don't go outside, so I don't know. Um, and they're like asking him questions for their TikTok interview, and they're like they get into like the relationship thing and like what his status is, and he's like, actually, I have no status. They're like, what? Like, are you being ghosted? Um, and he's like, no, we just have no status, whatever. So afterwards, he's like walking around and he starts to get sulky about the fact that they don't have a status.
Uh-huh.
Um, and then Bobbin is watching Formod sulk again, as usual. And Bobbin's like, dude, you're on the hook. Like, he's got you in reserve. Like,
Mhm.
stop being stupid, basically. And Formod doesn't take this well because hormonal teenager. And he argues and then he storms off.
Mhm.
um, but interestingly, when we do see Chian and Formod and Boa doing nails and stuff like that, Um, we see it from the point of view of Formod getting his nails done, not Boa. And Boa is very much third wheeling at this moment.
Yeah.
Um, and it's a little awkward, but it's fine. But later, Chan is like changing clothes to go do like the TikTok challenges, whatever, and Boa is like in the bathroom with him. And Boa like starts like testing how much Chan really knows about Formod compared to how much he knows about Boa, because it's questions like, which finger is longer, the ring finger or the index finger? And
Uh-huh.
and it's like he knows that about Boa, but he has no idea about Formod, right? Because they haven't known each other for very long. And
Yeah.
also, that's such a random thing to know.
It is. You have to do someone's
Um,
nails a long time to remember that
yeah.
information.
So like, there's questions like that, and Boa's a little smug because it's like, oh yeah, he knows me better, whatever.
Uh-huh.
Um, but then Formod does help them with all their TikTok dances. He's filming all of it for them or whatever. Um, and then the three of them are eating dinner. And Formod's like, hey, I'll airdrop this video to you, Boa, whatever. And so he does, and his name is still Gelboy on there, so this is very clearly just to make Boa jealous.
Yeah.
Because
I
Boa
mean,
sees
he's
it.
played nice all day, you know?
Yeah, that we've seen.
Yeah, that we've seen.
So yeah, and so Boa is immediately jealous. And so he flips it though, and he's like, "Hey Chien, do you remember the password that I gave you for our TikTok account?" And of course, Chien's like, "Yeah, of course I do. Whatever." And Bo is like, "You should whisper it in my ear so I know for sure." And so like they have like that, and
It's
Format
so
just watching like, "What the
childish.
fuck?"
Yeah.
And then in the worst take of this whole day, they're all at the BTS, and Boa is going one direction, Formad's going the other. And Chien goes with Boa.
Yeah. That's a solid choice.
Right? Like, okay, I see where I stand. Got it.
Uh-huh.
Um, so Formod is at school the next day or whenever, and he's crying because
Mhm.
he cries a lot.
He does. He's an emotional man, and that's
He
okay.
is. Yeah, it's fine. It's one of those. He's just constantly crying.
Yes,
I feel bad for him more than anything.
I do too.
Um, but then we see an interesting thing of Boa and Bobbin hanging out, which is like the first time that's happened since the Blackpink concert. And Bobbin is asking Boa if he's starting to have feelings for Xian. Um, and Boa doesn't really answer. It's another one of those like silent gap things. But this
Yeah.
is where we see Boa is in Chien's dorm after this.
Mhm.
And they're filming more TikTok content. And it's it's supposed to be like some like challenge of like snapping somebody's neck and then kissing them or something like that is like the actual challenge, whatever. Um, and like Chien like stops it before it gets that far, and he's just kind of like knock it off, whatever. And then from that, Boa like tackles Chien onto the bed and kisses him, but Chien
Ew.
just literally just lays there,
Uh-huh.
which I thought was very interesting. I think this is a very strong shift in Chien's feelings that has happened here.
Yeah.
Um,
And like Bua too is, I mean, he's trying to figure out his feelings,
yeah, in kind of a shitty way.
Yeah. In definitely a shitty way.
Yeah,
But
like um, Chien does call him out, and he's like, "You're only doing this because you realized that you were gonna lose me."
yeah.
And he's like, "Actually, we should just stay out of each other's lives. Like, I don't want any of this."
Uh-huh.
Um, I probably would have had the same reaction at that point, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah, it's pretty messed up.
Mm-hmm. Because it is frustrating where it's like, okay, now you're gonna make a move on me because I've finally found interest in somebody else. Like, are you kidding?
Yeah.
That's not genuine.
Yeah. It kind of feels like I feel like from what we've seen until now, I don't think Boa's done too much to like lead him on, like purposely, but other than like this, this is very
Yeah,
clearly messed up.
I don't know that he's done anything, but he hasn't done anything to dissuade it either. I think has been the
Yeah.
problem,
I
right?
think he's just like, oh, I've told him no before, so that's good enough. And
Yeah,
clearly, I mean, obviously, you can be told no by someone you like, but that's not going to change your feelings for them if you're
yeah,
going to continue to hang out and stuff.
agreed.
Yeah.
So, Boa then goes to Formod and he's like, "Hey, here's my TikTok account. Change the password to something I don't know, and then log me out." And Formod's like, "No." So Boa does, and then logs out, and he goes, "See, it's done. TikTok account is gone, basically."
Mhm.
Um, and then Boa walks off to like sulk or whatever, and then Bobbin goes to cheer him up. So Bobbin and Boa hanging out a little bit more here and there. Um,
Love it.
I do too. And then Chien tries to make nail plans with Formod, but Formod shuts it down, and he's like, "We're never gonna do nails together again." Like he's just done.
Yeah, I can't blame him.
Me neither. So we have that, and that is episode 5. So then episode 6, the penultimate one. Um,
Uh-huh.
um, Formod changes his phone name from Gelboy to Formod, and he blocks Chien on everything. So now we're back to blocking people.
Yeah.
And then Formod gets a girlfriend. Her
Ooh.
name's FIFA. um, so we have that, and then Bobbin is like sulking and upset about this turn of events because this is not where he wanted it to go either.
No, I mean,
um,
yeah, it sucks for him because it's like them and like FIFA were all friends. And Bobbin's
mhm.
probably like, well, if you were gonna date a friend, like, why wasn't it
Hello,
me?
yeah. So, but while he's sulking, Bobbin deletes his entire folder of like the Formod text screenshots.
It's a
Um,
good step.
yeah, it's a healthy step. Um, and so they're like practicing dancing and stuff, and it comes out that Lisa was spotted near them shopping or whatever. So Bobbin and Boa are like texting, and they actually meet up, and they're like, "Hey, we're gonna leave her alone." I think it's mostly because the show probably couldn't pay for Lisa to show up. Um,
Say she's busy with White Lotus, okay?
yeah. And so they're like, let's go film ourselves standing in the same spots that we see photos of her standing, which I think is really cute.
Mhm.
Um, so
Yeah.
that's what they do. And Boa has like started a new like TikTok account. right? And Bobbin watches it, and Bobbin was his first like on there, so Boa is like a little attached to him now. Um, so with the like, Boa like basically finds Bobbin's like account, so he starts snooping through it. But Bobbin doesn't have any content on it. He has a couple of reposts. So Boa like looks at the repost, and it's like a video of Lisa like eating some sort of, I think it's cotton candy roti or something like that. So Boa orders it for Bobbin, has it sent and delivered to him, and like doesn't tell him anything. um
Mystery
and
package.
Yeah, and Bobbin like gets it, and he like texts him. He's like, "How do you know I want to eat it?" And Boa's like, "Yeah, actually, I'm gonna start dancing on my new channel. Do you wanna come help me?" Um,
This is how Formad does, not Formad, how Xian does nails to like as excuse to get closer to people. Um,
Boa does
Hua does
TikTok
the
challenges.
TikTok, yeah.
Yeah, and but Bobbin is like the best hype man ever, cause like
Yeah, he is.
they're standing in like an intersection or something like that, filming like some sort of transition or whatever. And Bobbin's like, "You're looking great and you're doing great," and like hyping him up just like crazy. And Boa's like, "Did you not see the sweat dripping off of me?" And Bobbin's like, "You look fantastic. Post this."
Yeah. We all need that kind of friend.
Yeah, for real. Um, so they're hanging out, they're having a great time. And so then we see FIFA and Formod, and they're together at like this, I don't know if it's like a study place or whatever, because they have it's these little mini like room pod things and whatever where you have like a place to sit with like a little desk and whatever. And so that's where they're at. And it's very clear that like FIFA is like way more into Formod than he is into her. Um,
Uh-huh.
she's like trying to make out with him, and he has never looked less interested in anybody in his entire life. Um,
The feeling when you
um,
have a hot girl trying to make out with you and you just
push
don't
her away.
care. Yeah,
Yeah, like
like,
what?
hey, I can't relate.
Like not just like it's your girlfriend, so like what are you
Yeah.
doing?
Uh-huh.
But yeah, is what it is, I guess. So then they go shopping and hang out for a little bit. And then Ormond sucks so much
He
because
does.
they're standing like outside the BTS thing, and she's waiting on like on a car to come pick her up because she's not gonna take the BTS home or something like that. And Formod's like, actually, I'm not gonna wait out here with you anymore. I think I need to go hit the hang or get on the BTS, so I'm gonna go ahead and leave. Bye. And then he runs away.
Bro, he
I
sucks so bad.
it, I've had a guy strand me somewhere like that before, where I was like, I was able to get out on my own. It's fine. Like, and she has like a car waiting for her. I broke up with that guy 2 days later.
Yeah.
Like, ladies and men, honestly, don't let somebody ditch you like this. He
Mm-hmm.
should, whoever's the one like not babysitting, but like whoever's the one like being the gentleman in the situation, he should stay with you,
Yeah, you have to get home safe, okay?
right? Like that's how that works. Um, yeah, no, absolutely would have just immediately texted him, been like, okay, bye, see you in school, but not outside of that.
Yeah, right.
Um, which the plot twist of that is, after him showing no signs of being into her, in my opinion, this
Mm-hmm.
guy goes home and he gets on the computer and he makes this edit of him and like FIFA kissing.
Oh my fucking
It's
god.
like
This
an
is the
AI
worst thing
thing.
anyone does in the show by far.
I don't understand it. Not in
I
like
don't
a
either.
not in like a the show doesn't make sense way. In a why are people like this kind of way?
Yeah. It's like it's like a deep fake edit AI thing of like a
Yeah.
picture of them and then he turns it into them kissing. It's like, well, you could
Yeah,
have actually kissed her if you like showed any interest.
right. And he writes like this caption of like, "I'm so glad you came into my life," like blah blah blah, cute nonsense, whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think this is like I think he was gonna post this one on Facebook. I'm not actually sure, but I want to say it was a Facebook post. It's what it looked like to me.
I think so.
Um, and that's why earlier I was like, I think this is the only time Facebook comes up. It could have
Yeah.
been Instagram. I have no idea. Um, and right as he's going to do it, he sees where she has posted a photo of like a couple kissing and goes, "I hope I don't have this kind of partner."
Yeah.
Right? And I'm like, okay. And he's like getting ready to cry and he's spiraling again, right? And so instead of going, maybe I shouldn't post this, let me post something else to like express my feelings, he posts it. And she like he's tagged her in it. So like um she gets immediately like super mad and she's like, I need you to delete this now. What are you doing? Why would you do this? Like this is stupid. Like delete it. And so Formod's having a meltdown. He's crying.
Bro, what did you think if you're gonna make fake videos of you and your girlfriend kissing and posting it publicly? Like that's so weird.
Right. I could never. I I would also just immediately break up with him. Like
Yeah,
that's
this is 100% grounds to break up with someone and never speak to them again.
right. Like cuz it's I just with the deep fake type of stuff, I just don't trust any of it anyway. I'm like, okay, if you're already doing this, what else are you gonna end up doing?
Yeah, exactly.
And then like, why are you posting it on Instagram or Facebook or whatever? Just send me a message saying I love you and be done like a normal person.
Yeah.
Um,
It's some weird, like, I mean, it's definitely, he's doing it public for a reason, you know?
yeah, but it's like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, on the other side of things, Bob and Boa are together. They're gonna go get their nails done, but Boa feels like really guilty about like Chan and Formod not being together, and he's like, I think it's my fault. And so, um, Bobbin is like, okay, well, instead of doing our like nails on our hands, why don't we do our toenails?
Ah,
And then, right, they won't see it. And so that's what they do. They go get their toenails done, and they have these like really cute things. And I cannot imagine wearing shoes with those.
nope, that would be so uncomfortable.
Right? But they do. It's fine. But first, they're sitting on a bench like outside somewhere, and they're like playing footsie together, and they're like taking photos of their feet. Which is just there's a lot to unpack there that I just don't want to touch.
Yeah.
Um But there's definitely a lot of chemistry happening between those two right now. Um and Boa like leans over and kisses Bobbin because they like stop and make eye contact again and they just kind of look at each other and that's where Boa like kisses Bobbin and he's like, "Can you feel this too? I feel something." Like talking about like feeling something between them, some sort of chemistry. And and then Bobbin says something really dumb, like, "Yeah, I feel like the jelly or whatever."
Yeah. Yeah, he totally
Like
makes some joke.
yeah, he's trying to like brush it off. Um,
Yeah.
and
At this
then
point, this couple is everything to me. Like, they're by far my favorite part of the show.
mine,
I was rooting for them so hard.
mine too. I was all about them. So when they finally kissed, I was like, yes, thank you, cool. Um, Short-lived though. They do. So they kiss. They have their like, haha, there's something between us moment. Maybe not. Just kidding. And then they make out, right?
Uh-huh.
So we have a full-on make-out session. Good for them.
Yeah.
But then at the end of it, Boa asks if Bobbin has feelings for him. And Bobbin goes, no, I just wanted to try that out. I'm like,
Reason.
oof.
Yeah.
Again, totally fine. You gotta have that conversation.
Uh-huh.
So, but of course they didn't. Um, and then like the next day, FIFA breaks up with Formod. In like what feels like the craziest way to me, they're standing in the bathroom.
Yeah.
There's like three guys behind FIFA, and she's
No,
like
I
going
love
off.
it. She's got her
So
bodyguards with her. She's like, I'm chewing this man out, or I'm just like chewing him up and like
hmm
bringing my dudes with me, and yeah.
Yeah, because she's like, why would you do something like that? Like the photo, right? And like whatever. And like it's so weird and like going off and off. And she's like, if you just wanted to break up with me, you could have just ended it, whatever. She's like, I'm done. And like she walks away and the guys follow behind her.
Uh-huh.
And like Bobbin had like walked up at the like very end of this and so he caught part of it and then he later finds Formod like alone. And Formod then cries again because he's upset, but it's not really he's upset about FIFA. He's actually upset that Bobbin and Boa got close because he's like, I hate Boa. Like, why would you get close to him? Um,
Uh-huh.
and and so Bobbin definitely takes that to heart.
Yeah.
Probably more than he should. So, but then we find out Boa got COVID, and he's like, "Hey, I tested positive, Bobbin. So if you got it, you know where you got it from." Um, and so Bobbin does test positive for COVID, and so cool, everybody's got COVID now.
Yep.
And Chien sees FIFA's Instagram story where she's like, Formad and I broke up. If you want to find out why, you can go talk to him, basically. And it's like, oh, cool.
Love that.
Yeah. And Chien gets so excited about it. Like he's like outside of like the architecture department of like his university, and he like jumps up and grabs all his stuff and like runs off somewhere.
It's my chance.
Pretty much. And Formad and Bobbin's class, they are now in Zoom class because of all the COVID. And like towards the end of the class, the teacher asked Formad to stay afterwards, on the Zoom call, and the teacher like leaves, and Chien shows up because of course he's blocked on everything, right? So like this is his way of being able to talk to Formad. So he shows up on the Zoom call with Formad, and Bobbin has also stayed behind, so he's still there too. And Chien actually apologizes to Bobbin, because he's like, you tried to help me and I still fucked it up earlier, so I'm sorry for that. So actually, like, brownie points to him, in my opinion.
Yeah.
You know, for recognizing that he fucked up earlier. And then he confesses to Formad that he likes him. So big growth here of finally admitting feelings.
Someone's doing it at least.
Right. Formad, on the other side though, mutes himself and turns his camera off.
This
He's like
took me out. This supposed to, and I just turned the camera off. I like cracked up.
the exact response I would have had.
It's so funny.
Right? Like I'm invested enough that I need to stick around and see what happens. But I don't want anyone else to perceive me while I'm doing that.
Yeah.
And then my favorite part of this though is Bobbin is like, don't you dare answer any of that, like cuz Chien's like, I would like one last chance. And Bobbin's like, don't answer that, and like it's so toxic, you know it's toxic, and honestly, you're so handsome, you're more handsome than Cha Eun-woo, who's a Korean actor who's gorgeous. He's like, you're more handsome than Ong Lee, and you're like other people, and it's so funny. And he's just going on, and like by the end of it, he's got some finger hearts going. And then turns out he was on mute the entire time.
God,
And
I
he
was
was like,
fucking dying.
right? It was like, are you kidding me right now? So all they saw was like this unhinged thing, and no one bothered to say anything. And like one point, like, I don't remember who it was, but somebody was like, "Why were you doing finger hearts at the end?" It's like, what?
Or you're like Formad like unmutes and it's just like, why are you doing finger art?
Yeah, what is happening right now?
It's so funny.
It really is. It's the amount of times I've been in meetings now too, where I muted and I didn't realize or something, and I'm like, oh, are you kidding?
Yeah.
I've been talking to myself. Got it.
Yep.
So, but then Chien adds Boa into this group call now. So Boa can clear the air and be like, there's nothing between him and Chien. So that's what he does. And Boa's actually like, actually, I like Bobbin, which stops everybody again. And Bobbin, the filming of this killed me because it had to have been 30 seconds of us just staring at Bobbin, not saying anything.
Oh, for real. Yeah.
Like it had at least 30 seconds of us just sitting there in silence with him, just staring at the camera.
Gulp.
And then eventually Bobbin goes, okay, I don't like Boa. I like fourth mod. Or four mod. And then there's again so much silence. During all of this, there's just insane amount of silence.
Yeah. I mean, because
so
for
yes.
the first time, they're learning. Well, for the first time, Formad is learning that Bobbin likes him, and also they're learning that Boa and Bobbin have a much deeper relationship than they knew because they've been kind of hiding it from them. So it's like, yeah. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
So there's a lot, right? And so we have all that, and then Boa goes, holy piss, and then we see that he has peed himself. And he just ends the call. on
Oh
his
no,
end.
poor guy.
Right? This one confused me a little bit. I was like, was he just that embarrassed that he peed himself? Like, what happened there?
I know, I also was like, I don't know if it was because he was embarrassed or if he was scared or like, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't
I don't know
know.
why he peed
Like,
himself, but
yeah. So, but that was the thing that happened.
mhm.
So now it's the three of them again, and Formod finally turns on his camera. Um, and he still, I don't think, has said anything. Like this entire time, I don't think he says anything. And Bobbin and Qian are both like, actually, I'm gonna start hitting on you now. and and Formod's like, what the fuck? Like he doesn't say anything, but you can just see like the concern on his face, and he just like closes his laptop and ends the call on his
Yep.
side.
Shit
Because
really hits the fan.
Yeah, because Bobbin's just like, yeah, I'm gonna start hitting on you, whatever. And Chien's like, I know you have me blocked on everything, but as soon as you're over your COVID, I'm just gonna hit on you face to face.
Mhm.
It's like, oh shit.
Yep.
Um, Hell of a way to end episode 6.
It is.
So,
Oh my god, though, I was so upset that Bobbin didn't return like Bua's
right?
confession,
I'm
but
like, come on, you guys were already making out. Like, come on.
yeah.
But I will say, Bobbin can't like Boa because Formod dislikes Boa, right? So you have that
Mhm.
dynamic there too.
Yep,
Um,
that's true.
so it's not even like a denial thing. It's like there's just an actual issue going on.
Mhm.
Um, but episode 7, our final episode, which is a longer one too. It's like a 20 minutes longer than all the other ones.
Yeah.
And so we have Bobbin and Formod, and they're hanging out at like this nail polish vending machine. Um, I love this vending machine because it's like some random brand of nail polish, and there's like one like special color that's like near impossible to get because it's like a gotcha type thing.
Yeah, the gotcha nail polish vending machine is so iconic.
I love it.
Mhm.
um, and while they're there, Chan shows up, and he's like, "Yeah, I saw you on Bobbin's Instagram story. Um,
Uh,
like, great, you're stalking us. Got it."
uh,
But he offers to do Formod's nails, and Formod's just like, "No," and he leaves with Bobbin, and they go to the nail salon to get their nails done. um, and Bobbin is like, "We should do our nails really often so that you forget that Chan even exists." Because we're trying that again. And then they have like their little pep talk where Formod's like, actually, just so we're clear, I don't want to rush into a relationship right now. And Bobbin's like, it's fine. If we just keep talking, if we're good with that, everything's fine. And I'm like, is it fine? Are you fine?
yeah. He's probably just, I don't know, happy with any amount,
Yeah.
but it's kind of strange vibes from both of them because they're friends and they've always been friends, and it's like, are they supposed to act like a couple now? But it's kind of, I don't know, it's not giving couple vibes. It's just giving like the same friend things they've always done.
Yeah, it's definitely a what are we doing now type of vibes, but also I
Yeah.
think Bobbin's like anything as long as he doesn't go run screaming the other way.
Yeah, exactly.
Um But Formod also says that like if basically like if somebody more interesting comes along, he's just gonna go for it, which is interesting because Bobbin's like, yeah, that's fine, and he looks down at his toes, and it's like,
Mm,
hmm,
yeah.
yeah, about that.
He's got the backup too. Everyone's got a backup.
Yeah, for real, and they're all each other's backup is the problem.
That is the problem, yeah.
Hmm. Um. But Bobbin does try to make up with Boa, after being rejected, basically. And Boa's like, you really hurt me. And he's like, but I'll forgive you if you do dance TikToks with me.
Of course.
And Bobbin just grins and he's like, of course. And Boa's like, not just one, right? It's gonna be multiple. And Bobbin's like, no, sure, anything. And they hug.
Mm-hmm.
And then they go to film TikTok dances. So again, because Boa is a content creator.
Yes.
And then Formod is like walking around the BTS or whatever, and he gets this stalker looking photo like airdropped to him from an account called "Can I Go Home with You?" I would not have accepted that photo. Um,
But
but of course it's Chan who has airdropped the photo to him, and Formod basically just ignores it. And then a little later, Formod sees Chan trying to buy some sort of snack from a food cart again. And Chien stops him and is like, "Hey, can you pay for this? Do you have any cash? They don't accept like card, and I don't have any cash on me." And so Formod pays for it, and Chien uses this to get Formod's phone number because he needs it to repay him based on the app they're using. So sly way of him getting Formod's number because he's still blocked on everything else, right? So
yeah, he
now,
needs some form of communication he's not blocked on.
So now that's where we're at. And then also back at school, Bobbin helps Formod kind of patch things up with FIFA because they were friends beforehand, right? Um, so they patch things up enough to where they're like friendly and they can also practice for this random dance play that's coming up. Which,
Yeah.
if you're not in the know, random dance play is literally where like a bunch of people who may or may not know each other all meet up in the same location and do a bunch of like choreographed dances. A lot of times it's K-pop. In this situation, it's T-pop, but
Mhm.
it's a good time. It's a lot of fun. I have not
Yeah.
participated in the dancing side, but I've seen that and I've watched, and it's a lot of good dancers most of the time.
Yeah, I just like don't know any of the dances, but if I did, I would totally be there.
Yeah, I never know any of the dances either, but I was in New York for, oh, I don't remember what concert. Maybe Jackson Wang. Maybe that's the one I was in New York for. And I was walking
Mhm.
around and I was in like the Koreatown part of Manhattan. And there was like a random dance play happening like right there, and like they had like professional like photographer thing going on though,
Mm.
and stuff like that, or videographer. But yeah, they had a pretty good circle around them. It was cool to see.
Yeah, that's fun.
I think that's the first time I've seen one on accident where I didn't just like know it was happening at the park that I was going to. um,
Yeah.
a
Yeah,
lot of times
also
they're outside of concerts.
mhm. I am really glad he fixed things with FIFA because he really did her dirty.
Right? Like that's such a weird thing he posted online.
I know. That's crossing like a lot of boundaries.
Yeah.
And like I don't know, FIFA's really cool.
hmm
So I'm
Yeah.
glad that they were able to like mend things.
hmm Yeah, because that's like Bobbin like apologizes on like Formod's behalf. And then is like
Mhm.
also you should really look at like his Instagram account. Like he has a highlight reel of like apology videos to her.
Yeah.
So so the air's pretty clear from after that.
Mhm.
I mean it's not like they dated for very long anyway, so like I don't think there was
Yeah.
like a lot of strong feelings. I think just the way it ended was just bad.
Yeah, it was definitely like what the fuck.
Yeah. So then Formod gets off of the BTS later and he sees Chien like asleep on like the bench there. And like he goes to leave and then he backtracks and he goes and wakes him up, right? And Chien said he was there and he to be able to send off Formod, right? So I guess to see him off to go home and then he was gonna go home. Um and so Xian like goes to get on the bus on the BTS to go home, but he leaves his homework assignment. And he's an architect, so it's like a big like architect drawing thing. Um, and Formad sees that, and so Formad grabs it and he hops onto the BTS to give Xian the homework. And Xian is like already out cold. Like he sat down and had to have passed out immediately.
Mhm.
So Formad first he leaves the homework, and then I guess he was gonna stay on the BTS or something. Because he stays on and he puts some distance between them. Until he doesn't. He like has a change of mind and he like rushes over to him and then they end up going to Shian's house. Um
Uh-huh. He's totally cracked by now.
yeah, he's given in. Whether or
Uh-huh.
not he's accepted and realized it, but he has.
Yeah.
Because they at Shian's house, they're like sharing earbuds again and they're listening to music while Shian is doing Formod's nails again. And the nail designs this time are all related to memories of like things they've done together. So one was like like the animal on a t-shirt or something that he wore, and I forgot what the other ones were, but they were all related back to like their history together. So Smooth
Mhm.
from Chan. Um, and then after that, they're like still laying on the floor, and their hands wander one more time. um, but they go in pants this time. So oof.
Uh-huh. Ooh.
um, so yeah, that happens. Um, somehow I always get more awkward talking about NC scenes when it's like high schoolers or whatever than I do like anyone else. Because otherwise I'm like, oh yeah, they masturbated together or whatever, and I'm like, no, they got handsy.
Yeah, I know. Well, I think the show does a good job of keeping it very, like, age appropriate and stuff. Cause like,
Yeah,
this stuff does happen with teenagers, but also,
yeah,
yeah, I'm like, I'm like, I can't be, like, crass about it, you know?
yeah. There's definitely a line.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I definitely agree that they keep it pretty age appropriate. Because speaking of that,
Uh-huh.
um, we switch back
Ooh.
over to Boa and Bobbin, and they're over in Boa's room. And like Bobbin has his head in like Boa's lap, and he's doing like a lip treatment thing, and Boa is like giving him like a face massage, and like Boa like looks down, and Bobbin has like a very obvious boner, and like
Boa, like, smiles, he's like, "Yeah."
yeah, like he doesn't say anything, but he's like okay, yeah,
It clearly makes him very happy
yeah,
to
I
see
mean,
he has that effect on the guy he likes, very
yeah,
normal.
and so there's that, and then so a little bit later they're still hanging out at his house, and but they're like both on their stomach now and like laying next to each other, and they're just talking or whatever. And Boa asks if Bobbin and Formad have ever hooked up. No, they haven't. Um,
They've never
and
even kissed.
no, right? Like, because Bobbin's like, I get nervous trying to like flirt with him. I haven't gotten past like words.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Um, and Boa's like, have you ever wanted to try anything? Um, and Bobbin's like, yeah. And Boa was like, with who? And Bobbin goes, no one. Like, okay. Um, And then Boa gets bold and asks if he can try hooking up with Bobbin.
Oh.
Um, which this is such a teenage thing to do, but it's still hysterical to watch
Uh-huh.
because this leads to them trying different positions, but they're fully clothed, so they're just trying to figure out
Mhm.
how it would work.
Yeah. But
And
it's
they're just
very much flirting
it is it's so
heavily.
funny. It's there's a lot of flirting. There's a lot of power polling, like who would
Mhm.
be in which position and whatever, and like trying to explain like it's the blind leading the blind very much on like trying to explain how all this works.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, they're trying to, like, figure it out, and
Yeah.
yeah.
So, but it does escalate because like Bobbin like jumps up and like pulls off like his hoodie and his shirt or whatever, and then like jumps on top of like Boa, and they're having like a moment there where they're like grinding and whatever and still, and then Boa ruins it. Because they're like cuddled up, and Boa's like, "This is what couples would do," which Bobbin is like,
Mm.
not on the table, so we're done. He gets up and like, you know, puts clothes back on. Um, and then Bobbin does like the one thing, like the worst thing he
Mhm.
does this whole show.
Yeah.
'Cause he's like, because I think Boa asked him like why, why not? Basically, like clearly there's chemistry between them, right? So for
Mhm.
like why won't you commit basically? And Bobbin's like, you're not my type. I don't like people with brown hair and you have blue eyes because Boa is not pure Thai, he's mixed. Um I don't know, German or something I think actually. Um so he's mixed. So he has some more European features. And so Bobbin says that's what he doesn't like about him. Um
Yeah, that's pretty messed up, like,
it is.
it's
It's insane.
it's very clear that, like, I mean, Boa's just doing this because he flew a little too close to the sun, and I think he feels the need to overcorrect in a way because he clearly likes Boa, but he's not supposed to like him. He can't like him. And so he completely overcorrects and, like, insults him instead.
Yeah.
And it is like it's fucked up to be like, yeah, I don't. I'm not into you because I don't like your race. Like that's not something he can change. Like it's just a very hurtful thing to say.
Yeah, I will say my jaw was on the floor when he said that. I had to like stop and like take a minute because I was like,
Me
"Are you
too.
kidding?"
Because most of the show he's just such like a sweetheart, and then he just has this moment here where he completely like he's panicking and he completely overcorrects and
Hmm.
it says something extremely
So
hurtful. So
yeah, and this definitely causes Boa to spiral like crazy too. Like
yeah.
he goes and he like buys like hair dye and he gets like colored contacts so his eyes would be brown. So he dyes his hair like black or whatever, and he's like trying to film content, and like he's spiraling. And it's one of those like he ends up like
Hmm.
in the bathroom and he's like looking in the mirror, and it's definitely one of those of like he doesn't recognize himself type of a thing, right? And so he's like practically ripping the contacts back out of his eyes, and while he's like spiraling and crying and all this.
Yeah, it's very
Um,
much giving the bra scene in Sunset.
yes,
It's like
yes, it
very
is.
it parallels it.
Mm-hmm. I didn't think about that, but absolutely.
Yeah.
Um, and then on the other side, Bobbin is also spiraling a little bit because, right, like he didn't want to be mean. He just didn't know how else to handle what was happening. And he takes down all of his Blackpink posters in his room because like his room is plastered in Blackpink stuff.
Uh-huh.
So they're both having meltdowns. Um, Formod is also having his own version of a meltdown. Because basically he didn't hear from Chien all day.
Uh-huh.
And he's like outside of the architecture department, like waiting for him, like at the university. And he's like clearly he's thinking the worst, like that Chien has like a girlfriend or a boyfriend on the side or something, right? And Chien finally calls and he's like, I just woke up. It's like evening, like it's dark outside, but he's like, I just woke up. And he's like, actually I was sleeping all day because I had to work all night long on like homework stuff.
Yeah.
And then this causes Formod to spiral a little bit, and he's like, "Oh, okay, well, I'm gonna go take a shower now. Bye." Even though he's literally sitting outside, right? He lies. And so after he gets off the call, he starts to scrape his nails off again, right? Because now we have the designs that Chien had put on, and like he's spiraling because it's like he's realized he has no trust in Chien. Like he doesn't hear from him for a day, and everything was fine. He was just asleep, but he assumed the worst, you know.
Hmm.
So very stressful.
Yeah. I mean, and it's definitely like it's not unfound, It definitely comes from Jian doing him dirty in the past. So
Yeah.
it's like a level of trust that I don't know, it just kind of brings back bad
Mm-hmm.
memories and stuff.
Yeah, no, it definitely makes sense.
Hmm.
Um, so we're getting close to the end now, though, because
Yeah.
Bobbin and Formod are at this random dance party or dance
Oh,
play.
I
Uh,
love that all the drama in the series, they choose to do it during this random play dance. It's so good.
yeah, it's so funny. So they're there and they're like in the middle of the crowd and they're dancing and having a good time, whatever. And Chien shows up. He doesn't really talk to them. He gets kind of close, but then he kind of just leaves again. Like he's just around. But Boa also shows up, and he's back to his natural hair color, so he's balanced that back out, thankfully. But Bobbin and Boa do end up like off the side somewhere, and like Boa's like confronting Bobbin. He's like, "You ignored me for a week. Like, what's your problem?" Boa's like, "I need you, Bobbin, to decide. Are we friends? Are we couple? Are we in the talking stages? Like, what is happening right now?" And Bobbin just can't even give him an answer. Like he doesn't say anything. He just stares at him.
Love it.
Um, and it's because like he wants to be more than friends, but also
Hmm.
he can he even be friends because like Formod hates him. So what do you do? You
Yeah,
know,
and he's supposed to love Formod.
right? Like
But does
so,
he still? Like he doesn't
yeah.
know.
Spoiler: the answer is no.
Yeah.
Like, come on. Okay. Um, so when Bobbin doesn't answer, Boa just walks off and he leaves the random dance play. Um, and when he leaves, he actually runs into Shan like off somewhere like nearby, who I guess had also left. And he goes to Shan, he's like, I had no idea what I was doing to you when I had you on the hook like this entire time. And he's like, I am so sorry.
Yeah.
Because more against his will than not, that is what Bobbin is doing to Boa. And
Mhm.
so that's where Boa realizes exactly how much that sucks.
Yep. He's like, I'm
Um,
in your shoes now, and it's terrible.
yeah, my bad.
Mhm.
So Chan does not take this well, honestly, and he goes to confront Bobbin about it, and there, because Bobbin's also walking around somewhere now. But before Bobbin can say anything to whatever Chan has said, they've announced over like the intercom that Proxy has shown up to the random dance play, which I think was planned, but it was they just came later, right? And so Proxy again is a real K-pop group, not K-pop, T-pop, and one of the members is Ong Lee that has been mentioned a couple times now, right? So like from episode 1, where that's Formod's new style, and also at one point in the Zoom call,
Mhm.
uh, Bobbin was like, "You're more attractive than Ong Lee." It's so funny.
Yeah.
So they're now here in this random dance play, which I think is awesome.
Yeah.
But Bobbin runs back to go jump into the random dance play, but Chien is not done having this conversation. So he follows Bobbin back, and they're literally in the middle of the crowd. Um, during all this, like the T-pop group is like around them, right?
Yeah.
And
They have bigger issues right now.
yeah, but Chien is like, I need you to be clear. He's like, are you choosing Boa or are you choosing Formod? Like to Bobbin. He's like, just be clear one way or another. That's all I need, right? And of course, Formod is standing right there, and like I don't think they realize because like neither of them are paying attention to Formod, and he just turns around. So then we see they've all jumped out of the crowd again, thankfully, and Formod is like kind of talking with Bobbin. He's like, um, um, Bobbin's like, I don't want to like Boa, like because Formod, you don't like Boa, like I didn't mean for this to happen, basically, right? Like, and he's like, whatever. And for Mod, again, very, very long pause. There are tears coming. Um, before Mod, after this pause, is like, hey, we're best friends. We've known each other for so long. We sit next to each other in school, whatever. He's like, honestly, if you'd have just talked to me about it, right?
Mhm.
Which, yes, but I also don't know if I was Bobbin if I would have done that because I feel like depending at what point in all of this Bobbin says anything to Formod, Formod would have lost a shit. Um,
Yeah. Yeah, and Bobbin likes to bottle things up a lot,
mhm,
so,
I relate to him.
yeah. Yeah, he probably wouldn't
um,
have done it anyway, but yeah.
yeah. So, but Formod basically gives his like approval of like go follow your feelings, it's fine type of a thing. So then Bobbin goes after Boa. And he chases him like all the way back to like his house, right? And he's following him there, and he's like, he asks him like, "Will you be my partner?" He's like sobbing. He's like, "I know you probably hate me now, whatever. It's fine. And it's just, it's basically like let's clear the air one way or another. I want you to be my partner."
Yeah.
But with lots of tears.
And he's
Uh,
a sobbing mess. It's
yeah.
so good. He's such a good actor.
Mm-hmm. And Boa's so funny though, because Boa like basically like it's not even a door. It's like the plastic barriers between like I don't know, like a warehouse type of a thing, right?
Mhm.
And he has those lifted up and he like sets those down and then he like lifts them up again. And then they hug. But then also like while they're hugging and Bobbin is like sobbing, Boa then films Bobbin crying and asking him to be his partner. So of course we had to get one more film in there, right? Um
Yeah. He's definitely like he he's enjoying like this
mhm.
a little bit, it's like
Yeah.
he like gets to gloat a little bit because,
Yeah. So, but yeah, they hug and they're together now. Cool.
Mm.
um,
Yay.
yay, finally.
Yeah.
And then Formod is like walking around and he runs into Xian, like outside somewhere. And Formod apparently has grown up at some point in all of this because he's like, it's been 2 years of us doing this, whatever this is.
Mhm.
And he's like, when you didn't answer me, I was paranoid the whole day. Like honestly, I had a meltdown because I didn't trust you, whatever. And and he's like, I'm tired. I don't want to do this anymore. Is more or less what it is. And then Shannon's like, hey, I understand that you don't trust me. That's fine. He's like, but can we at least meet up every month to like let me do your nails type of a thing, right? Um, and that's kind of Formod mostly just walks away. Um,
Mhm.
but then Formod is walking around alone later, and he's standing at the nail polish vending machine again. Um, and while he's there, he decides to unblock Xian from all the social media. So we're there, and he sees that Xian has like this highlight reel on Instagram of him trying to get like that special nail polish from the vending machine. So it's just a bunch of videos of him trying to get it for Formod. Um,
Mhm.
so we see that. Um, and then he doesn't really do anything about it. He just kind of moves on. But Xian, we see later, is doing Boa and Bobbin's nails, right? So I guess those three are cool. This is all very complicated, right? Because like Formod's like not talking to Xian, but like Formod's best friend is dating like Xian's best friend, so
Uh-huh.
um messy.
Yeah.
Um, but then Boa and Bobbin, their nails are done. They leave, and Xian's sitting around, and he sees that Formod is sitting not far away, like in the shadows, like charging his phone. And Formod gets up, and he comes and he sits by Xian. Um, and they, without saying too much, they make up, right? Like they end up holding
Mhm.
hands, is how they make up.
Yeah.
Which I guess implies that they're together now because that's how the show ends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think there are some like little credit scenes where, we have the couples being coupley, but
Mm-hmm.
yeah, at least hey,
Um,
it ends happy. I'll take
yep.
it.
We are getting a season 2 next year.
And we're getting a season 2. I the the scream I scrowed when that was announced.
Yeah. I had actually forgotten again already that we were getting a season 2 until I was looking up stuff for this and it popped up when I was looking up what the actors had been in. I was like, "Oh right, that's a thing."
Yeah, they kind of
And
announced it together. They were like, okay, fan meet and this and oh, season 2. And we're like, oh, awesome. Are
yeah.
they gonna? I guess it's gonna be college or something.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Um I will say I'm excited, but I'm also like, what are you going to put Bobbin and Boa through now?
Dude, hopefully nothing. I just need to see them as a happy couple,
You know they're going to
and that
have
can be the
drama.
whole show. Listen, we don't need drama, but
Yeah.
we'll see. I mean, considering how Sunset season 2 went, I guess I'm terrified, but
Yeah. I'm excited, but I'm also maybe not.
yeah.
No, but it'll be fine. It's gonna be great to be able to just see all the characters again and see how they've grown and I guess not grown.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I'll definitely be sat day
Yeah.
1. So,
Mhm.
but yeah, this is definitely I mean, I like I mentioned before, I am super behind on shows that came out this year. I haven't seen too many, but so far this is my favorite show of the year.
Yeah. I think my favorite show this year has been Top Form.
Yeah, that is the one that I have been dying to watch since the first episode, and I just like I haven't had the
Se-
time to like fully like start it and appreciate it. So I've
Yeah.
been waiting.
Season finale is next week, so
Yeah. Oh well,
or
that's honestly, I might just
yeah.
all watch it in one go.
Yeah, season finale will be the day before this airs. Um
Okay. Yeah.
so, yeah. So, I'm excited. The director of it is his name is Boss, and he was tweeting earlier today. He was like very bittersweet right now. He's like it feels like we just started filming. Um
Yeah.
so
Ah,
but yeah.
yeah.
But no, Gelboys is still really good. Um I think it got dethroned as favorite of the year by Top Form because Top Form just took over my life.
Yeah. I think I'll like Top Form a lot too, but Gelboys is just so unique in a
Mhm.
way that I just like. I mean, other than Sunset, which you know is made by the same people, like I can't name another
It's
show that is like
yeah.
similar.
I mean, and even Sunset is unique and different from this one. Like the vibes are the same, but like the shows are way different. And I think we talked
Oh,
about it a little bit in
absolutely.
Sunset, where like Sunset is more like rural, whatever, like school kids, and this is more like city school kids and how that's different, right?
Yeah, and it's
Um,
Sunset's very much like academic pressure and how that
Mhm.
affects you, and the show is very much more about like, your
The
personal
relationships, yeah.
relationships, yeah, and social
So,
media and how that impacts your daily life. So
yeah.
yeah, very
So,
cool, very thematic. My favorite thing about this show, honestly, is like the style.
mhm.
Like it just creates such a clear style and image for itself that like I think is like super influential. And it's definitely like influenced me to like buy a few more like colorful clothing things because I'm like, I want to be a gel boy, you know?
Yeah, I feel like you've seen it get trendy just in general too. I've seen a lot more actors have gel nails lately.
Yes. Yeah, especially
Um
the really colorful extra ones. Yeah.
yeah, so it's been interesting to see that.
Yeah.
It's definitely if you can handle having that kind of stuff on your nails, I think it looks fun. It looks really cool. I'm not cut out for it. I know I will go insane immediately.
Yeah, right.
For some reason when I first saw the show, like the name of the show, I thought they were gonna and I saw like photos of it. I thought they were like the stickers, like the nail stickers.
Yeah.
So, which I think would be a really funny concept too.
That would be Sticker Boy.
Mhm. But yeah, no, it was a really good show. Definitely worth the watch. I don't actually know what it's rated on MDL, but I bet it's rated pretty high to be honest. It is 8.6. Yeah. So, we are not alone in thinking this is a good show.
Happy to hear it.
Mhm. So, but yeah. So, that's it for this episode. Um can find us on our socials as usual at Instagram and TikTok at bl.in.the.air. Twitter at BL in the air, Discord in the link tree, and links to everything is in the link tree, to be honest. Streaming video on Spotify and YouTube. This episode will be audio only for the most part, but that's fine. And we will have audio of everything everywhere as usual. Um, yeah. Catch you next week. Bye.